This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
There's just one place where you can drive the new 2025 Acura Integra for only $289 a month. The Customer Appreciation Sale at Acura of Pembroke Pines. Thank you for making us number one.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield Home Security System guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
There's just one place where you can drive the new 2025 Acura RDX for only $399 a month. The Customer Appreciation Sale at Acura of Pembroke Pines. Thank you for making us number one.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
We're celebrating a new year with new savings at Toyota of Hollywood, the official #1 volume Toyota dealer. Save big on a 24 Corolla, not $24,000, $17,988. Buy with 0% financing, 0 down. We're bringing you deals that strike fast and hard at the #1 volume Toyota dealer, Toyota of Hollywood, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help. After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
There's just one place where you can take $10,000 off the 2025 Acura MDX. The Customer Appreciation Sale at Acura of Pembroke Pines. Thank you for making us #1.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody S Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodysdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
There's just one place where you could drive a new Acura ZDX for only $239 a month. The Customer Appreciation Sale at Acura of Pembroke Pines. Thank you for making us #1.
This is the Big O Show. 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 is the Big O Show. This is
So here we are. I wanted to show you the backyard again because we had some trouble last time, but you know, cuttersedgepro.com does some amazing stuff, and there are the boys and the girl. They're having fun. There we go. Right, Maiden? Right, Bono? There we go. They're having fun. I'm having fun. Look at our Sylvester palm. It is beautiful. We got another one in the front yard like that. You can take your home and landscaping to the next level. And the artificial turf, look at that. Look at that. The two dinosaurs going at it, huh? Look at that. I gotta love the dinosaurs. Look at them. They like to bite each other's legs. That's what they do. They play with each other and then they bite each other and they piss each other off. It's fun. One is Bono, which is the one farther away from you, and Maiden. She's the girl right here. She's a badass. That's for sure. So anyway, see the flowers are coming out. Very nice. cuttersedgepro.com, folks. This big tree there will start budding that I'm showing you there soon. It'll have all kinds of flowers. I'll post another video and I'll show it to you. This is a backyard where everybody gets to hang out. Over there in the corner there, I put the barbecue to cook. So that way it's the farthest away from the house, you know. If I light myself on fire or somebody else, we're out in the corner away from everybody. There you go. So you're getting some flowers coming out, which is a beautiful thing. And I swear by this artificial turf, it always looks phenomenal. I don't have to cut it. I don't have to water it. And so I'm saving a lot of money, hundreds and thousands in the long run, because I'm not watering or, of course, cutting the grass. And you know, here in South Florida, we cut the grass like every 10 to 14 days.
When it comes to your smile,
when it comes to selling your home, efficiency is the best way, the less stress way. That's why Asmani Garcia and the Omega Home Realty Group is who you want to call. Sell your home for just $990. That's right, $990. No 6% commission. Asmani and Omega are the exclusive program director for just $990 in South Florida. Get full service real estate services like pro photos, beautiful brochures, Zillow and Alex, Realtor.com and Homes.com listings. Call Asmani to find out more at 305-440-1990. Scan the QR code or visit just990.com to get started. Omega Home Realty Group and Asmani Garcia are ready to present your home to thousands of prospective buyers. Call 305-440-1990. Call Asmani Garcia and tell him Big O sent you.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors and Custom Drywall can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray or Mike, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors and Custom Drywall, 305-345-3649. Or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All righty. Good afternoon, boys and girls. Welcome aboard. Yeah, it's not even loud enough yet to hear. There I go. I can hear myself. Hello, hello, hello. We are back. Have I ever taken 4 days off? Yeah, no, outside of a weekend. I don't even know.
No.
In 5 years, I don't think I've ever taken 4 days off of this show. I don't think so. Yeah.
No, not at all.
Yeah, because really not going to take a full vacation until the bull run's over. And Trump's delayed that bull run for a little bit more, so I'm waiting, until the Trumpster gets the bull run going. Then I'll take a full vacation. So then even a concussion can't keep me out from a vacation. Anyway, so hope you all are doing well. I know you're doing a hell of a lot better than I am right now. But anyway, yes, I am doing my my show today with glasses because of the lights. And the headaches are kind of gone, pretty much. Although the lights are something that still kind of bother me a little bit. But it's all good. I got the 4 staples here in the back of my head, obviously. So for those of you that maybe you're just tuning in, you don't know, whatever, Sunday night, I had an accident. And so, by the way, it wasn't roller skating. Like all of you are dying for me to like die on roller skates or something. It's like, no. Anyway, so one of the things that I did not realize as I'm older now, as I'm approaching 60, when I wake up in the morning and the alarm rings, I boom, bah, dart out to whatever I got to do, the bathroom, whatever. I don't really reset. You know what I'm saying? And so it's always been like that my entire life. And I get up probably twice a night at least to go to the bathroom and take a leak, right? And when I get up, I just muscle memory, just walk right to the bathroom and walk right back. And so one of the things that I have now learned, okay, is that as a person like myself that is on blood thinners, a person like myself that is older, right? When I get up from bed, I am supposed to kind of wake up, reset, because I'm also sleeping at an incline. So all the blood is down to the bottom part of my body. It's not in my brain. So that's what happened to me that night. I went, muscle memory got me right to the bathroom. I took my leak. And when I was walking back, I was walking in the darkness because I do it all in the darkness. It's all muscle memory. I know where everything is. I walk right to the bathroom. I walk right back. I walk right in. Bop, 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 bop. This time I could not do the bop, 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 bop. And all of a sudden, it blacked out, bro. But I was blacked out in a blacked out room. And so I fell and I hit my head on the bottom edge of the door in the corner, by the way. And so it sliced me in my head. And my wife heard it. And she came running to me, and I was kind of having some convulsions, and she got me out of it. She basically saved my life that night. Basically, if she didn't hear me, I would have been lying there in the darkness and nothing. And so it's just something that I now have learned, that I cannot do what I've done since I was a child, that I cannot just pop right out of the bed and run, because that's who I am. I'm electric. I've been electric my entire life. That's who I am. I don't stop moving. I move and I move quickly and I move on to something else. And when the alarm rings, I'm gone. I don't struggle to get out of bed or anything like that. So I have to learn now that I have to understand that every time I get up, my equilibrium is not going to be there yet because I'm older. So I got to get up, reset, make sure I look around, everything's cool, get up, feel it, and then walk, and then good. You know what I'm saying? Because it was basically I was just on muscle memory getting to the bathroom, and I had no blood in my head, and then bam, and I fell and I fucked up, and it knocked me out, and I didn't remember anything until the ambulances. I don't remember my wife trying to wake me up. I don't remember my daughter. I don't remember until the ambulance got there, until the EMTs were there, and they asked me who was president, and I said Biden. So, yeah, it was just, it was fucked up, man. I've never been through anything like this. And so I was in the hospital for 2 nights, for Sunday night, for Monday night. I got out on Tuesday. Everything negative, all the CT scans, everything blessed. It was all negative, no bleeding, no, and I'm on blood thinners, so it's fucking dangerous. So that's basically my night. That was what happened to me, and I'm good now. I'm good. I drove today, everything to kind of test it out. I drove last night. I'm walking. I'm good. I just got to handle things differently, man. I'm 58, heading to 59. God bless that I was in the 290s, and now I'm in the 230s. So I'm going to lose a few more pounds. I'm going to get down to the 205, 210 range. That's my next goal. And my next goal is actually to get even in better shape so I can protect myself even better as I get older now. You know what I'm saying? But it's just a freakish thing that happened to me. And when they explained to me what happened, it made a lot of sense. You know what I'm saying? And I pass it on to any of you out there that are older and you're like me, that you just get out of bed. Don't just get out of bed. Don't do that. Don't do that. The scare I put my wife into on Sunday night, you don't want to do that to anybody. You don't want to do that to anybody. You know what I'm saying? So as you're getting older, you get up out of bed and you collect yourself and make sure your senses are all in and the blood is rushed to your head and you're aware of everything going on. And then you can get up and then make your movements. You know what I mean? Don't be stupid like I am, where I constantly would get up in the middle of the night in the darkness. That's the other thing I'm not going to do anymore. I'm going to have some lights. You know what I mean? Because the lights recalibrate your eyes and kind of, pick your senses up. And, I was in a dark bathroom falling backwards into a wall. And I had no idea that I was falling because I was in a dark room. Because this is what I've been doing for 20 years. I've been living in the house for 22 years, going to the same bathroom and the same, muscle memory. So I can do it blindfolded. I never hit a wall. I never crashed into anything, never stubbed a toe, because I could just, blindfolded. And then I fell blindfolded. Because if you had lights, your eyes would have recalibrated. If you had, you would have picked up some senses, And then the other thing, I know Ira's there, Ira. I'm sorry, Ira. I'm going to you in a minute. The other thing that I learned that I've been doing, I don't do this anywhere else except in my house. Okay? I sit when I pee. That night I didn't sit. I never gave, if I would have sat, the doctor told me you would have recalibrated at that moment. Your body would have sat down, would have recalibrated, because you would have sat down. I've been sitting and peeing for over 20-something years. You know why? My wife cleans the bathrooms, bro. So standing and peeing, you know how it is. That's a disaster, and you make more of a mess. So as a decent human being, I've sat all my, married life pretty much, 30 years actually, for the decency of my wife, because it's a lot cleaner in the process. If I would have sat that night, I may not have fallen. So another bonus for any of you out there that are older and doing all this, sit. It's a good thing. It's a very good thing, actually. Okay? That movement gets the blood going, gets the rush going. You have to start doing something. I screwed up big time, and I paid a serious price. So don't do it. All right. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it, and I appreciate the love I got from so many of you out there on all the different platforms, and I still haven't gone through all the messages. Thank you. And thanks to my wife who saved my life. Ira Winderman is next.
Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
All righty. Hi, Ira. How you doing? How you feeling?
I'm doing good. My team not so good. Apparently, they got out of bed too quickly also over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, they're playing concussed. That's for sure. There's no doubt about that. And watching that Hornets loss the other night, that was just absolutely shameful. This is a really tough stretch for the Miami Heat organization because the players, they are what they are, and we know what Spo is already. But I think the people in the front office have to do a really nice look in the mirror on what they've done or what they haven't done overall over the years.
Except when you have a player throw a grenade in your locker room and then he leaves before it goes off, you can anticipate all kinds of what ifs, Big O. But when something that dramatic happens and someone sabotages your season, it would be like Sean having your show sheet, your engineers and or forget you flying to Vegas and not bringing your equipment and realize I've got a show to do. And what Jimmy did to them, it cannot be minimized. He's off having a great time in Golden State. The Heat are trying to recalibrate, but he literally threw a grenade in that locker room. Now, maybe what this means is that Pat Riley has to do a better job of reading the situation, of accepting that today's athletes are different, that he can't be the strongest minded, toughest willed, blah, blah, blah team in the NBA because it doesn't work anymore. But I'm not sure any team, Big O, if you took away their best player, even the Celtics, God bless them and their talent they're going to have here tonight at Kaseya Center. But you take Jason Tatum away from that team where he walks in one day and says, screw it, you guys can go to hell, I'm out of here. I even think they would have trouble adjusting. It's something we have not seen down here from a professional sports athlete probably since Shaq, and he was not nearly at Jimmy Butler's level when he pulled his BS in 2007. So even that was different.
No, I totally understand that, but I'm taking it to the next level. Okay, so now that he's gone, look what's left over, and it shows that you really haven't found anything really super special. And so, when you talk up Bam and you talk up Tyler, and those two guys can't carry you over the Hornets, that kind of tells you something. The fact that you keep losing all these double-digit leads in these games, kind of tells you something that, yeah, they're solid players, but they're not really stars. And that is something that they've got to look at themselves in the mirror because they have dedicated a lot of time. And while Bam does fill a fantastic role that is phenomenal, he still needs stars above him in order for it to really work the way you need it to work. And Tyler is not the star. I mean, what were his stats the other night?
Oh, he had a 30 point. He had a 30 point against the Clippers. He had a 30-point game. Was not as good.
But against the Hornets, he was 9 of 17 for 21 points, 1 of 5 from 3-point range. The man needed 17 shots to score 21 points. It's just, come on, dude. This is the Hornets. Let's go.
You know what, Big O? It's the difference between stars and superstars, and you do not win an NBA championship without a superstar. So when you look at these at the league's championship contenders this year, you're looking at Jason Tatum, you're looking at Donovan Mitchell, you're looking at Nikola Jokic, you're looking at Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, superstars. You can have all the LaMelo Balls and Trae Youngs, like you and I have spoken about for years. Right. You can have that level of talent. God bless him, the Pascal Siakams and players like that. And that will get you so far, but only get you so far. Exactly. You have to see if Jalen Brunson, star or superstar. We'll see that in these upcoming playoffs. So you can have your stars. You need your superstar. For weeks on our Acura Pembroke Pines report, you've spoken to me how they need an alpha to the baiters they have on their roster. That hasn't changed. Jimmy Butler was that alpha briefly in the time he was here, but he didn't want to carry that burden. You know, because the carrying that burden, the head that wears the crown, that's a tough deal to do. Remember Jimmy, when he was looking for other teams, we heard from people who were speculating, well, Jimmy doesn't want to go there because he doesn't want to be the second dog to Steph Curry.
Right.
I think Jimmy's realizing how much fun it is to be the second dog to Steph Curry. That Steph can put up on threes. Jimmy had a crappy game last night. They still won. That's really fun. Those are the rarest players. How do you find them? You absolutely bottom out, which is why there's a race to the bottom this year, because Cooper, Flagg, maybe even Dylan Harper are that good of players that they can make franchise different. Again, this is a team that has been unwilling to go all the way down to get all the way back up.
Okay, so we've had this conversation before. I ain't paying Tyler.
You know what, Big O? I've defended to a degree. I'm going to take this two ways, and I'm not saying you're wrong, so I'm going to talk in circles here, and I'm going to be merely in mushmouth, okay? But you can't keep letting your stars walk also. You can turn them into something. You can turn them into something, like you said with Jimmy before the previous extension, maybe even before last summer. And look, and that's hindsight.
Oh, no, I said it 2 years ago.
I understand that.
That's when they could have gotten the 4 or 5 first rounders and a player. At that moment, they could have gotten a haul for Jimmy, dude. That would have been.
And they were also coming off the NBA Finals. I think with Tyler, it's a little bit easier, but I do think you have to say to yourself, if we just have a core of these two guys, if we have a core of Tyler and we have a core of Bam, is that good enough? And it is not good enough. And God bless both of them. You've got to get more. So do you do the short-term thing and make the deal for Kevin Durant that'll be there? But I don't believe that Kevin Durant, Tyler Hero, and Bam Adebayo make you better than the Celtics, make you better than the Thunder, make you better than the Nuggets, make you better than the Cavaliers. That's what they have to decide. Unless Big O, you're just enjoying contending. If you just want to be in the playoffs and win a round or two, which the Heat will not do this year, the Durant deal would make sense. So are you just in the business of buying time or of working toward a championship? That's what we're going to see next.
Well, they're about banners because that's what they have up there. That's what they've always been about. The guy opened up the press conference saying, I have a dream of a parade. So they're not about just going to the playoffs. If they're just about the playoffs, then they're just about the money, and that's Mickey then. But if it's about Riley, it's about the championship. But the problem with Riley is he doesn't like to bottom out. And that's the only way. You got to trade Tyler. If you can get a pick or two, somebody can give you a couple picks because they need a shooter on their really good team, then you go ahead and do it, man. I think that's what you have to do, but you cannot. If Tyler's looking for another max deal after this, I'm sorry. There is no way, if you're the Miami Heat, that's a responsible move.
Well, and the good thing is, Big O, the extension window doesn't open till October 1st. So they will have the entire offseason to canvass the league, to see what's out there, to see what's doable. This isn't a Jimmy situation where he was either give me the money now or I'm out of here. Tyler can't do anything until October 1st. The Heat can't offer anything till then. So they do have an offseason to reassess, and they have to reassess. But here's the toughest thing, and I wrote about it today in my Ask Ira, and I'm writing about it in my Sunday column, The Sun Sentinel. Rebuilding is hard. But you know what's harder, Big O? Rebuilding when 2 of your next 4 first-round draft choices are due somewhere else. The draft is not going to be the be-all, end-all. This is not OKC loading up with Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams and all the young talent. This is a team that's going to have to find a way through some magic beans to get some veteran talent also, because after this year, or even this year, 2 of the next 4 first-round picks, 1 to the Thunder, 1 to the Hornets.
Okay, but what do? Do you then fend off the inevitable by then mortgaging more of your future to avoid the inevitable? Because then, and eventually what you try to avoid now, then you'll have to try to avoid again down the line. I mean, it's just a vicious cycle that you've just got to get over it and tear the scab off already, because you just keep avoiding it and you're not really accomplishing what you really want to accomplish, which is another parade in Biscayne Boulevard. That's what they're all about, dude.
Well, here's the thing. I've always looked at that's one of the things they're all about. What they're also all about is, you hear this over and over and over again, and it's continuity. and they've all been here for 30 years, and they all have trust in each other. Big O, here's the problem. The Terry Rozier trade for Kyle Lowry and a possibly unprotected first-round pick might be the worst trade in this franchise 37 seasons.
That's my
point. What I would do is tell my front office, you're on the clock. That trade was garbage. Make a good trade. Make a trade that can provide benefit short-term, but also not hurt the long-term. And in a real organization, someone would feel the pressure. Here's the problem. Look at the hierarchy, okay? Eric Spoelstra's boss is Pat Riley. Pat Riley's doing nothing to Eric Spoelstra. Pat Riley's boss is Nick Arison. Nick Arison is doing nothing to Pat Riley. Nick Harrison's boss is Mickey Arison. Mickey Arison is not doing anything to Nick Anderson. So what you have is this continuum of for better or worse. Well, this isn't a marriage. Yes, people can get divorced. This is a business. And in a business, you make transactional moves based on success or failure, unless you're the Miami Heat, in which case you emphasize continuity and longevity. But you know what?
Right now, we've got crap annuity.
Well, you do. And right now, I love the work Andy Ellisberg's done. I love 90% of Pat Riley's moves. I love the way that the Arisons largely have been committed to doing what it takes most of the time. Yeah. But the problem is, there has to be that come to Jesus moment where you say, hey, we're not a 10-year rebuild. We're not the Dolphins waiting 20 years to win our first playoff series, or even the Panthers until they got to Bill Zito and finally got it right. We're not putting up with
the Heat social media now is reminding me of the Dolphins because all they do now is reminisce.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And, the Dolphins, that's all they've ever been able to do for 40 years is reminisce because they haven't accomplished anything since half a century ago. And so I'm already looking at the Heat like, we're already getting to this point where we're just
again, you're in the final. It's crazy because they were in the finals 2 years ago. They were. You can say what you want. You can say it's a fluke, it shouldn't happen, whatever, but they were. They were, and that bought them time. But you know what? You haven't won a championship since 2013. You're 12 years into the cycle. You got to push this thing forward a little bit. You've had bad missteps. No matter what you say, the Jimmy Butler situation played out poorly, even if you're insisting it wasn't handled poorly. Okay. The Terry Rozier trade, a disaster. You're drafting lately, very good, but let's not overstate what Khalil Ware, Jaime Jaquez Jr., and Nikola Jovic are. The book's still open. It's still out on all of them, what they're going to wind up being. I don't think there's anything wrong with saying there needs to be a deep dive from within how to get this thing right. And you just wonder if the continuity works in the other way. Well, we've been in this together. We'll stick in this together. Now just go out and do the same thing. Can't afford that anymore.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. That's it's been a rough one right now. What do you got going on with the boys tonight against the Boston Celtics? Because that's going to be a bitch.
This schedule's brutal. I mean, this schedule, not only Boston tonight, tomorrow, second night of a back-to-back in Memphis, Monday in New York, Wednesday come home Detroit, next Friday, week from today, Houston. You're looking like 11 games under 500 unless they find a way to get things right. You can't lose the games to the teams you should beat, like the Bulls. I think the Heat's going to wind up in the second play-in. I think the Heat's going to have to beat Chicago, either here or there, and then have to go in and face the loser of Orlando, Atlanta, just to have the right to play Cleveland in the first round of the playoffs. They totally screwed it up with that loss to Chicago. They gave the tiebreaker to the Bulls, which they could least afford. It's just a bad, crappy
They're not really
year.
a clutch team. They're not a clutch team.
No, they're not. Tyler was. Remember 2 years ago, Tyler Hero was a runner-up to De'Aaron Fox for the clutch play reward. But here's something interesting, Big O. That's when he had Jimmy Butler. That's when he had someone else taking the attention. Tyler Hero is learning what Trae Young, what LaMelo Ball, and so many other players have gone through. When all the focus is on you, it's a completely different situation. When teams can load up to you, like Tyler and Eric Spoelstra admitted they are, that's when we know, which is why. When you talk to the top of our Acura Pembroke Pines report about extending Tyler, I'm telling you this. The Heat still have 15, 16 games left. If Tyler can come up in the clutch and come up in the clutch in the play-in and come through in the clutch in the playoffs, then maybe I'm willing to sit down and be at least a little bit more open-minded. What I'm saying is this is last chance saloon for Tyler Hero to prove he can be a clutch leading man, and the opportunity is right in front of him.
Sean, if we can only hit the lottery, we won't have to do the show in a week or two. Anyway, follow him on Twitter.
They've got the lottery. His name is Mickey Harrison. The money is there. The success in the move's not necessarily.
Well, Tyler already hit the lottery because he's making like $30 million a year. He's got Katya at home. He hit the lottery already as it is. Follow him on Twitter at Ira Heapy and catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Center. Better yet, subscribe to it. Ira, as always, thank you, my brother.
And I've got to say, after all these years of doing radio and online, you are still the best host I've ever worked with who pees sitting down. Thanks, Big O.
Thank you, sir. There you go. That is Ira Winderman. At home, by the way. Except that night. Why didn't I do it that night? The Integra 2025 model, $339 a month right now, baby, at the number one volume sales, the number one volume Acura dealership in the United States of America. It is Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. You can get 3.9% financing for 60 months. The ZDX, $439 a month, 0% financing for 72 months. The RDX, my wife drives it every day. My lifesaver drives it every day, $399 a month. You can get out there at 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines, and the MDX Tech will take $10,000 off the MSRP. Tell Larry Schlossberg and Pat Nasto and Tony Stampone and all the fantastic people out there that Big O sent you at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines.
You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA Report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the number one volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig Zinn Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Don't forget, folks, you can always make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. You can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation, which you know we love those Bitcoin or Ethereum donations, especially now when we're at a dip. Adam Pinkser, sir, thank you on Venmo. Let me take this off in order to read. I'm trying to stay away from texts. It's hard, so I need some quickly. Pinkster, glad you're back, and most important, glad you're feeling better. Sounds like you took a nasty spill. I did, bro. I did. It was bad. And let me tell you something. I hit that door corner to the left of it. It's the entrance to the shower where it's all tile. If my head just shifts 6 inches over and I hit that tile, I'm dead. Dead. D-E-D. Dead. That's from a movie. Don't worry about it. I misspelled it on purpose. Anyway, let's see. Unlike Tua, maybe you should wear a Guardian helmet. You're awesome. Thank you, Adam. Ho Yoon, as always, dude, you're amazing, brother. Thank you for your very generous donation, sir. That is very nice of you. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. Thank you all out there. As always, you can also make a donation through PayPal, which you got the QR code there too. You can do it through PayPal. Thank you all as always. Let's see. What else? Oh, man. Oh. Lights. We got Furones next or Dwork? Dwork is coming next. Dwork is next. We're going to talk to David Dwork. We're going to talk a little Oki. Panthers taking on the Maple Leafs. What's it called? We'll talk to him. We got the trade, which there is Marchand and everything. It's just absolutely crazy. So after Dwork, we'll get into a little Dolphins. I'll give you my thoughts on what's happened in free agency. And then we'll go into David Furones that will join us, and he'll give us his thoughts on what's happened in free agency. So we've got all of that going on. Now, let's turn the page, and we talk Oki with David Dwork. He covers Les Panthers. Yes. David, how are you
Bonjour.
doing?
Bonjour.
How you doing, baby?
¿Cómo se va?
Muy bien. Muy bien.
How you feeling, man? You look good. How you feeling?
Good. I'm just wearing the glasses because of the lights. So yeah, it's been an interesting week. We cover athletes all the time about concussion protocol, and it's interesting to go through I'm not in a protocol because I'm not in the NFL, but it's going through the symptoms and the headaches and then the lights and the dizziness and the lightheadedness and that kind of stuff. And so it kind of, it kind of dissipated as the week goes on. The lights are still something that if I stay staring at a light very long, it'll bother me a little bit. But the headaches are gone right now, for now, at least. I don't know. They could return.
No. Training camp's just a few months away.
But I'm still I won't be going to training camp this year anyways. I'm not wasting my time this year. Anyway, that's a whole other story. What's it called? I still have obviously the back of my head with the 4 staples and all that. That shit still hurts and all that. And then this ligament here, the one that goes, the 2 on your neck that go this way like that. Well, this one, because I felt on the right side of it. And so then the right side of my spine all the way halfway kind of hurts, that kind of shit. Because I just fell, bam, in the darkness, So it's just one of those deals that the doctor told me, hey, when you're older now, you take blood thinners when you get up. Oh, and I've been doing this for over 20 something years in my house. It's all dark. So I do it on the dark. I get up and I dart to the bathroom to take a leak and I dart right back, right? And the problem is I'm also laying in an incline. So all the blood is down. It's not in my head. So I went through muscle memory. And when I was going back in a dark room, I didn't see that I was giving out. And boom. And that's it. And so now
you break it down like a sportscaster.
Yeah. And now I'm going to have lights. Now I'm told that I got to get up and sit up and collect myself to make sure that I've got my bearings, and then the blood has rushed to my head. You know what I mean? And then the lights also end up recalibrating you too along the way. So I didn't do any of that. I've never done that because I've been since I was a kid. Alarm pops. I'm not the guy that struggles out of bed. I'm out. And that's always been me. Oh, I got to pee.
Yeah. We're based on our routines. We're simple creatures. You take us out of our routine and it's chaos.
Right. And so now I've learned that I cannot do that anymore now. I got to get up and I got to kind of collect myself to make sure I'm kosher. And then I can, go do the work I got to do, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's a hard lesson learned, my brother. Hard lesson learned, man. But, hey, it is what it is, and we'll get through it, man. So how about you, man? You've gone from the beat that people may not know about, the team that, is struggling just to get by, just to get noticed, and that's all gone now. It's the best franchise in town. It's the best run franchise in town. It's one of the best franchises in all of the NHL, and the ownership group and the front office continue to prove it over and over and over and over again. And the Brad Marchand deal was just like ridiculous, bro. Like ridiculous that they would even add that guy on top of everything. Just silliness, dude. Really.
It's the law of averages playing out maybe for the first 25 years of the franchise. I mean, it's
you
incredible.
don't. No, it's not law of averages because then we would fix the Marlins. You know what I'm saying? It takes great ownership, bro.
Well, the Marlins have pissed off the baseball gods. The Panthers, they didn't do that. They just tripped over themselves for a little while. But
they never had a Viola.
No, or Zito.
Right. They never had a Viola.
You need the owner who's willing to just sit back and let the hockey people do their thing. But then you've also got to have the right hockey people. And you could say I like to say it starts with Bill Zito, but I mean, if you're talking from the roots to the stem, Matt Caldwell's the guy who hired Bill Zito and then went through that whole process when we're looking for another GM. And, they brought in Bill Zito from a list of, there were a lot of guys that people recognizable names, but nope, they went for this guy's going to make it work. The coaching search. Oh, we have a guy that he's a finalist for the coach of the year. No, we want to bring in this guy because it's going to work with these systems. And they've stuck to their guns from the beginning. And it's been unbelievable. The results, it's awesome. I mean, they're right now, they're the favorite to win the Stanley Cup for a second straight year. They are the betting favorite. They're the favorites on Money Puck. And they've earned their spot. We'll see if they pull it off. But, dude, it's unbelievable. It's you know what? And you can probably give me a good perspective on this, because I was thinking the other day, like the Panthers, if they go to the final again this year, it would be 3 straight years in the Stanley Cup final, which seems like mind blowing to me, just to fathom it. But, sensibly, it works. They're built, they're stacked. But I think in the Panthers 3 years in a row, it's like, holy cow. But then I'm like, wait a minute. It wasn't that long ago that the Miami Heat went to the final 4 years in a row. And that felt like normal. That felt like how it kind of should have been. And obviously with LeBron and everything, but why does it feel like it's so different? Like I'm trying to figure that out internally.
Because organically, the Heat situation was a biological creation. The Panthers is an organic creation that started with ownership, then started with the brutal decision that you had to make of getting rid of the GM, Talon, okay, that they listen, everybody finally listened to. Yours truly. And so you have these tough decisions, and then you start to add the right GM, and then you add the right coach, and then you add the right players. And then all of a sudden, it just falls into place. It's not like you went and got the 3 best players in the NBA, or 3 of the best players in the NBA, and just put them together, and it's a no-brainer. That doesn't work like that in hockey.
Yeah.
Okay. Hockey is a completely different monster.
No doubt.
My God, you are bringing Brad Marchand into this locker room. Think about that, dude. Yeah. Think about that. That's
the perfect fit. Like it's not fair that it's like the Heat getting Ray Allen. If we're making that comparison, it's like, really?
Right. But you're also bringing a character that's also been a foe in a way, whereas Ray Allen was never a character foe.
This is like bringing Paul Pierce to the Heat.
Yeah, exactly. You got it. You get it. You follow sports. So it's like, you get it. So this is completely different, dude. And this is even better and more impressive than the Heat if you win this year. Why? You match them, and you match them by 2 out of 3 and all that bullshit. The difference is this isn't a bunch of hired mercenaries. No. These mother effers want to be here. They want to be together collectively. They want to keep winning collectively. Yeah. You really signed a real core of superstars that want to be together.
Yes.
And they want to continue this thing. So you're going to have more success next year. I don't know if it's a cup or not or whatever, but you're going to have success. You're going to have success for the next couple of years because of the way you're set up. So actually, this can become even more special. And at the same time, whereas basketball was already sold in this town, hockey now gets to really get established by these people, because we got some of it in the 90s when I covered them, but it was only just like a little drop because it just didn't have a lasting effect. This, my friends, we're watching a generation grow up with Barkov. Okay? That's something that they didn't have. Now a bunch are going to grow up with Kachuk, and they're growing up with Lundell, and they're growing, this becomes a whole different ball game now with South Florida and hockey. It's what the Tampa Bay Lightning did. And that's what these guys are doing, which is, by the way, what they did when they got here. They went over there and they said, let's see, you're doing this, this, and this. Okay, let's see what we're going to do. And they've kind of done that. And, even with the ice den that they've created over at War Memorial and everything, they are creating a culture. And then you are winning. And so it just becomes more of a community-led thing, which is why they'll be a lot like the Heat down the line, entrenched in this community. So there's my perspective.
No, it's really awesome. And when you talk about the footprint that they're establishing across Broward County, not just, their little rink in this random side of town that's next to the Everglades. Like they went right in the heart of Fort Lauderdale and they're building out. They've got all these programs, building outdoor rinks, and it's smart. And you combine that, as you said, with winning, which is the gasoline on the fire that you need in South Florida. That's the oxygen that you need to breathe if you're a sports team. The fact that they've got all that going.
You're connecting the cup. Kachuk is all over the place. The players are all over the place. That was really important, dude. Look at Inter Miami. Inter Miami is just a bunch of mercenaries. Their fans are mercenaries. They're just Messi fans, and they're coming in and out. And if Messi's not there, they don't show up. And once Messi's gone, they're gone. And Inter's really not connecting because they're not really putting players that are either talking the language or communicating and really connecting. You know what I'm saying? Where the Panthers are doing everything culturally, professionally, everything they're doing just absolutely right, dude. It's fantastic.
They've learned. The Miami Heat forever have done everything right from top to bottom, from the way that they treat their fans, their season ticket holders, their players. Like everything has always been first class with the Heat. And I've always said that's not just the South Florida thing. They're one of the best run franchises in sports. And the Panthers, like they're checking all those boxes now.
By the way, Ekblad, can I tell you good luck? Can I tell you what a break? Can I tell you that was freaking awesome? I'm glad he's suspended. Why?
You're glad.
Yeah. That's 20 games he doesn't get injured. That's 20 games I get a fresh defenseman. That's 20 games he gets to relax. And now they can use that money, correct?
Well,
and by the way, they're good enough that they can get to where they want to get to to the playoffs without Ekblad. And then they get Ekblad for the real run in the playoffs. As you and I know, and you know better than I do because you cover it every day, home ice doesn't mean shit. So if they don't get the first seed, they were the fourth seed last year or third seed? Fourth, I think. I want to say
last year they were they the two seed?
Huh? They were the 2 seed?
No, last year they were
I thought they were the 2 seed. Oh, they were
because they won the division, but they finished behind the Rangers.
Okay, so they're 2 seed. Well, my point is they don't have to be 1. They can be right there, and they can still win it all. Yeah. So I looked at the Ekblad thing like, bro, this is a blessing. This is a guy that has injury history. The last thing I need is for Ekblad to get injured 5 games before the playoffs. Now I get him a 20-game rest. The team
in that regard, the totally agree.
You know what I'm saying? Like it was like
from that perspective, totally. Because now, from that side of the, then you're looking at a fresh Ekblad, a fresh Kachuk, a fresh Marchand, because he's, even though he comes back before the playoffs, he'll probably be fairly close. So all these guys are going to be fresh and hungry. As long as the team is focused in that first round and they don't stumble and overlook whoever it's going to be, which if you look at the standings, so if the playoffs started today, it'd be the Kachuk Brother Bowl in the first round, which would be, I don't think anybody's not focused for that. That'd be amazing.
By the way, we're 3 years into this bitch where you went to the finals and you lost, and then you had the guts to go all the way back to the finals to win. And what you're doing now proves to me there's no let up in any of these guys. They don't overlook a damn thing. I think you cover a bunch of guys that want to do this shit.
Yeah. They brought in the right guys.
Yeah.
Now, when Zito brings in player, he's not just looking at like goals and assists and all that. Like they're looking at character. Like they're not just looking for the right guys that fit in the style. They need to bring the right guy for the room. And that's why the Panthers locker room has become the envy of the NHL in terms of the camaraderie among the players and how well they get along and just how the love they have for each other on the ice. And the way that it starts with the way that they play. Like they have to be connected when they're on the ice together. That's how the system works. The defensemen can't have their tight gaps if the forwards aren't doing their part on the other side to make sure that it sticks that way. It's all kind of trickles down from the top. So to see that the way that they've built with these guys that are just such good character players, like this is legit what they've done here. Oh, it's really cool.
No, I know. And Bob's playing great. And I trust all the goalie people and I trust the front office. I know people were freaking out on the night move and all that. Explain to people why they shouldn't freak out.
Because the Panthers are trying to win multiple Stanley Cups right now. Spencer Knight, even if Spencer Knight becomes everything they hope he's going to be and more, he wasn't going to be the guy in Florida for at least another 1.5 to 2 years.
Right.
Sergei Bobrovsky's the starter. He's going to be the starter next year. Even if they had a split, Bob's still starting 50 plus games.
Easy.
So you take a guy that's going to play maybe 30% at a high end for the next couple of years, or you bring in somebody who's going to play 100% of the time that can have a more profound impact on your team, and then you address your goaltending situation down the line. Like I didn't want to see Spencer Knight go. I'm a goalie. I wanted to see the young next guy. I wanted to see him develop, but I understand the business side of it. Like, they have an opportunity to, the way you're talking, they could be a dynasty.
Right.
They're actually flirting with that realm of that possibility. Just to be in that conversation is spectacular. So
if you win this year, we can start talking about that. If you win this year, we can definitely start talking about that.
Just the fact that they're in a position to try for it is hard. So no, I get it. I understand why you make the move for Spencer to bring in Seth Jones, because now,
like 5 years ago, Ekblad gets injured, and we're like, oh shit, because 7 years ago, you're barely scratching to make the playoffs. You know, our Panthers back in those days were the team that had to storm back at the end of the
games
season.
in hand.
And like, you desperately need this team's so good that Ekblad can be out and Tkachuk can be out, and they can still go out and win more than enough games to get into the playoffs and be in a comfortable position. That's ridiculous, dude.
That's crazy.
Ridiculous.
That's it's Bill Zito and his guys. Like, they've built it, and it's so deep. Like, we thought that it was like last year was the best incarnation of the Panthers team that we had ever seen. Like, no, just wait a couple of months, because now they've one up themselves. Like, they lost Brandon Montour, and they lost Ekman Larson, and they lost Tarasenko. And you know what? They brought in Seth Jones. They bring in Brad Marchand. Like, they don't just replace guys. They replace them and then some. And I think it kind of ties into, it's a destination now. It's not just you're trying.
And you got young guys like Lundell that are developing into,
and Samoskevich, like that. That's the thing too. They need those young guys. They need those cheap contracts if they're going to be able to pay guys in the top end. So it's all kind of working out right now. It's really cool.
It really is amazing. So tell me, what's the goal for them? How do they look at it from here on out? Because they're not going to tell you they're going for number one or anything, or they're not going to say that they don't want it. But how do they pace themselves? Because they know they're good enough, but you don't also want to overwork yourself before you get there too at the same time.
No, I think the mentality is that of a football team, whereas like one week seasons, like every game is an individual. You go out there, we know what we want to do on this night to be the team that we want to be. We try to execute. It works out on some nights it doesn't. You move on to the next one. The goal, I think, is get to the playoffs healthy. Play your style, because you've been watching this team under Paul Maurice for 3 years now. Like, they know what they're supposed to do. Now it's just let the newer guys integrate into the systems, keep the machine rolling, and don't get hurt and get to the playoffs. That's really it. As long as they go out there and they perform their duties, as long as they do X, Y, Z, they're going to get a lot of wins. They're a good team that plays good systems. So I don't think they need to do anything special. Just go out there, do your thing, stay healthy, get to the postseason.
All right, Bob. Is he playing better than he was last year during the regular season?
Right now he's locked in.
It seems, let me put it this way. It seems like there's more consistency this season in the regular season than last season. I think I might have remembered, especially in the first half, there might have been a couple of valleys, whereas I think there's been less valleys the entire year overall from last year. Is that true, or am I just kind of making shit up in my head?
I think that...
Am I still concussed?
I think that recently, over the last, say, month, dating back till now, like, it's been some of the most consistent that we've seen from him outside of the playoffs as a Panther. He's been incredibly consistent and solid, compact, like challenging. Rebound control has been much more held in check. So I think lately, like, we're seeing some great Bob. I hope that, because this season has been a little bit tumultuous, not just for him, but for much of the team, because whether it was Ekblad or Tkachuk, there have been guys in and out of the lineup, Barkov. So now they're at a point where they're kind of being able to hum along.
Some saves that are just, man, like the other day in the third period, that breakaway that he just stones the guy. I forgot which game it was. It was just ridiculous.
There was one in the Tampa game where it was like a 1-goal game, and I think it was like Easymont or somebody had a breakaway. Yeah. But he's had to make big saves in the third period every game. The only game that he really didn't was the Boston game, And that was like the whole team kind of fell a little bit on their, flat in their face.
That's why I think they traded Knight, because to me, his consistency this year has been just like the last 2 years. This is the Bob they signed for. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the Bob that they expected when they first. Now, to Bob's defense, the people in front of him now are the best that it's ever been in front of him too. You know what I'm
it's
saying?
also
So everything falls in line that right now everybody in other words, Zito has done a much better job than prior GMs to fill the stuff that goes in front of the goalie. So we don't always look at it as the goalie, because there are nights where he's only facing 20 shots or 18 or 24 or something, and it's not like he's sitting out there getting peppered.
No, and it's also pre-Paul Maurice Bob and post-Paul Maurice Bob. You put him in a situation where he's playing in a defensive system where they keep the middle clear, they sweep out a lot of the second chance opportunities, and it's really much more pro goaltender. So you combine that with the fact that Zito has stacked this team full of great defensive players that are blocking shots, that are clearing things out, and they're playing in Paul Maurice's systems. It's been very, very beneficial for Sergei Bobrovsky. And obviously we're talking about the results have spoken for themselves. And that's why there's really not any kind of concern that a guy like Bob, who is, his workouts and the way that he trains is legendary, that he's going to have any kind of a fall off just because he's getting a little older. Like his play and his athleticism, has anything changed since he got here 6 years ago? No, it's just been a matter of consistency. That's the thing. In terms of the way he plays and what he can and cannot do on the ice, I can't think of anything from day one till right now that has changed. It's just a matter of how he performs and if it's consistency in terms of stopping the puck, but his speed, his agility, all of that has been the same. And that's just because he takes such incredible care of himself.
Yeah, and something tells me this offseason, Zito will be going after some kind of a young goaltender. All right, what do you got going on in the hockey news as the Cats get ready for the Canadians tomorrow?
It's just a big trip that they're on right now, and I'm excited to see them go through it, because they've got Montreal, they've got Washington, they've got some challenges on this trip. They got Columbus coming up, a lot of teams that are fighting for playoff spots. So it'll be exciting just to see. I just want to see them tested. I want to see them going through it. I want to see how they respond to different situations. I want to see how Seth Jones continues to integrate him into the systems, and just get ready for the playoffs.
Good shit as always. Follow him on Twitter at David Dwork. And, of course, make sure you subscribe and check it out there at the Hockey News. David, as always, my brother, appreciate you. And, by the way, tell them about the podcast. I'd be remiss if I did not ask that. Tell them about the podcast.
Thank you. No, it's every week with Roy Bellamy and I from the Dan Le Batard Show. We do the hockey show. We did one earlier today that will be going live. We're live right now, right? Oh,
yes, we are.
So we'll be going live in just over an hour today. This week's show, we break down the deadline with Emily Kaplan from ESPN. But no, it's a lot of fun. Roy and I do it every week. We're having a blast because we're both just a couple of hockey nerds, and they've given us a platform to talk hockey. So we're having a lot of fun with it.
Good shit. David, as always, thank you, my brother. Enjoy the hockey. Enjoy covering the best franchise in town, sir.
I am. Thank you. Always a pleasure, my friend. Take care of yourself.
Be good. There you go. The great David Dwork, as always, kind enough to join us here on the program. Remember, we're out here at Hialeah Park, where you could get your $100 no-regret first bet. Show them the QR code there, Sean Stanley, so you can make your bet. You get make a bet on basketball games, Panthers on Saturday. You want to make a bet there, bet on the futures, all that kind of stuff. By the way, if you already have a Hard Rock account and you're going, oh, I can't do it. No, you can. You can. Just use a different email or phone number when you open up your account and you make your bet. You'll get your $100 and you're off and running. All right. Remember, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. Hey, for a second. Glad to have you back and glad to hear you're okay, big dog. As my usual donations have gone into buying crypto on the way down while you were out. Let me get back into it with a small contribution to the Spain Fund. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And remember, we are trying to go to Spain. You can help us get to Spain by making a donation. If you could get me and Sean to Spain, we would be doing the live show all week, covering the Dolphin events, breaking any Dolphin news if there's anything to break, doing our pre and post game show from a Dolphins bar in Spain and everything. So if you can, use that QR code and make a donation. Appreciate that immensely. Brian Radke, thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Thank you, sir, for the donation on Cash App. Appreciate you. Very nice. Let's see. All right. What else? Oh, it's hard for me. Oh, you got to stop running to the toilet. You need to be a pocket passer. Oops. Crap my pants. Oh, yes. Yes, I am elevated nowadays. I do sleep a little elevated. So, yeah. It's just more comfortable. Do you sleep flat or elevated? You elevate too? Yeah. Once you do it, that's it, bro. Dude, I fall asleep on my daughter got me this recliner. It's called the Shack recliner.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You seen it?
Yeah, well, I've seen the Shack furniture.
Right, the Shack. Right. Okay. So you know how big that mother is.
Yeah.
So I fall into it like a baby because it's made for big ass galoofs like Shaq. And so you know how many times I fall asleep in that chair while I'm watching television, and I'm either upright or leaning or whatever. Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. I'm like Fat Joe, lean back. Yeah.
No, I'm not straight up, but I got a little bit of
an incline.
Yeah, I got a little bit of incline.
Yeah,
but
for
I got
sure.
Those, the bed where I can adjust the feet and the
right. Exactly.
So,
yeah, that's what I do too. Yeah. Although I have the feet normally up a little bit, I have them completely down right now because of the back. So man, it's like kind of stiff. So I gotta like leave it on an incline, not the because then your back's a little too bent up and stuff. So yeah, no, it's like no. So yeah, it's been a challenge. I got to tell you, it's been a challenge. The Miami Dolphins. We're gonna have Furones on in a minute here to start off hour number 2, and there's no way you can be happy with the overall players that have been brought in. I think a lot of these players might help out in some ways, as backups, role players. Daniels may start. Obviously, she better start for the money they're paying him. I would expect him to start. I think he'll be fine. I'm not worried about it. I think some of these players might be interesting adds. I like the Erkine, Westbrook Erkine receiver because what's it called? Tua needs a big receiver, but will McDaniel use him? It's a question, And so what I want you to realize what's going on is this is what I told you 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I told you that this coming season, last year, will be the hot seat year for McDaniel because I had already not bought into him in the second year. And I told you this third year, he will prove that he will go onto the hot seat the fourth year. He is now in the hot seat. Okay? The entire organization now is sadly on the hot seat. It's a vicious cycle that we're in as fans, as Dolphin fans. We see it all the time. And the response from the offseason tells you all you need to know. Reggie McKenzie leaves for a lateral job in Tennessee because he's from Tennessee. So I'm sorry, are the Titans on the brink of winning anything right now? No, right? So Reggie McKenzie did not leave the Miami Dolphins because the Tennessee Titans are closer to a championship.
Yeah, no, he's not going to win a title in Tennessee.
No, he's from Tennessee.
Yes.
So he decided the winning's not going to happen here. Let me just go back to my home roots and call it a day. I'll be a consultant, and there's less pressure on me, and I'm gone. I'm out of it. And so the Reggie McKenzie move should tell you a lot for the Miami Dolphins. Okay? The move with the quarterback, Zach Wilson, should tell you everything you need to know because Garoppolo and Dobbs were top targets and guys they really wanted. Guys that wanted to come here. last year. Okay, but the problem is it couldn't be worked out. These are guys they wanted here. And one chose to go somewhere else that they thought was a better situation than this, and the other one stayed in a better situation than this. Why? Neither one of them want to come here to a hot seat year where then they will have to pack up and leave again. They wanted to stay somewhere where Garoppolo was, hey, dude, I was fine last year here, backing up Matthew Stafford. I'll stay right here again, and I'm staying in the same system with a great coach. I don't need to go to Miami and then everybody gets blown out and then I'm shit out of luck again. No, I'll stay here. So when you're on a hot seat year, you're not going to get the top free agents to come here. You will have to overpay. And then that means you have to then start going into other contracts on your team. You can't do that. You don't want to do that because then you start mortgaging even more for problems. So they're not in the market right now as a sexy team right now. Why? Because they are on a hot seat year. And that's why they had to settle for Zach Wilson. That's not who they wanted. Okay? Make no mistake here. Zach Wilson is not what you want. So there are moves going on. There are free agents they're signing. And when you see that there's a lower tier free agents, when you see Reggie McKenzie leaves for a less than maybe lateral job because they're not winning over there and he leaves, when you see quarterbacks that easily could have come here because the quarterback is injury prone, but now they decided not to, it's because everybody's on a hot seat. And nobody wants to reorganize their lives again after 1 year and go find new homes or new condos, new teams, new coordinators, new schemes, it's a pain in the ass. So the real situation for the Miami Dolphins in this offseason is the position that they've put themselves in from the prior 3 seasons. And everyone now sees it and no one buys it. And because no one buys it, these are the end results. You have to take back Liam Eichenberg. Let's talk Dolphins football with the one and only David Furones in our Welt and Rheaume Miami Dolphins report.
All rise, football fans, as the Welt and Rheaume Miami Dolphins report with David Furones is in session.
Welt and Rheaume has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Furones.
All right. There he is. And, of course, our friends at Welt and Rheaume, proud sponsors of our show. And thank you, Jeff, for constantly reaching out and checking up on me. Appreciate you, sir. And, of course, reach out to our friends at Welt and Rheaume, 954-966-4646. They will take care of you in many different ways. A consultation is free. David, I don't know how much you caught of the entry there. We were talking about it because we just finished talking some hockey, and I wanted to start leaning into a little football. And this is an unsexy offseason. This is an offseason where you see one of your personnel guys leave for maybe even a less than lateral job overall. To me, this is an indication that your franchise is on a hot seat, your coach, front office, all that, and you're not going to have the pick of the litter. You're not going to have a lot of people wanting to come here. And so it's going to be a little bit more of a difficult situation for you to fill your needs. Is that what we're seeing in this free agency trip so far?
First of all, Big O, good to see you back. Glad to do it with you. I wish while you were away, the Dolphins were giving you some better news, better updates, hopefully cheer you up a little bit. I mean, the offseason is leaving a little bit to be desired, but I think at least from my expectations, this is kind of what I was expecting was, all right, you're going to go and address the offensive line with a guard. That's kind of like the one, if you can even call it a splash signing, where they spent the most, which was mid-tier spending for an $8 million a year contract, that level on a James Daniels at guard. So you solidify, you get one starting guard who's really solid, but you can get at a discount because he had the Achilles injury and he's coming off of that. So you go and do that. You address backup quarterback, although I didn't love the move. I know you were on Josh Dobbs. I was on Jimmy Garoppolo.
Oh, no, I was Garoppolo first.
Okay, you were Garoppolo, but then also Dobbs.
Garoppolo first, and then once Minshew became available, I said Dobbs, Minshew are like my 1A, 2A, B. But then the Minshew thing on the physical came out. I didn't know that he had failed the physical on the Raiders. But definitely Garoppolo first. But Garoppolo and Dobbs chose better situations.
Yeah, and even less money for Garoppolo. And I know they were linked to Marcus Mariota, and he got more money to stay in Washington. Hey, those guys, they have cushy backup jobs, like in Washington, you're behind Jaden Daniels. He's going to be solid. It's hard to predict if a quarterback will miss time, but the way he plays, he can get out of trouble. So you probably don't see him get hurt as much. Same thing in Matthew Stafford. He'll keep himself upright there. And then Jimmy Garoppolo didn't really have to be used much in LA. Go back there. That's a cushy backup job. Now, in Miami, you expect that's the other side of it, though, is that you do expect, hey, you're going to get playing time opportunities if you go to the Dolphins, which you could look at it two different ways. Do you want the cushy backup quarterback job, just get paid millions of dollars to not have to ever go in and do anything? Or do you want an opportunity to go and play? And more often than not, that's the case with the Dolphins. But Zach Wilson, I struggle to understand it because I wanted the veteran backup with the scheme fit. That's why Jimmy Garoppolo, for the combination of those things, was my top choice. But I guess Mike McDaniel sees it where he can develop him, be that quarterback whisperer, try to do the same thing he did with Tua, and you only need Wilson as a backup. I know he looked a little bit better in the Broncos preseason, the last year with the Jets, than he did when he started off with the Jets, and he's been in Mike LaFleur's system, which is a similar scheme. But, it's just if Tua gets hurt, that's not who I want to bank this season on. I would have felt much more comfortable if it was a Jimmy Garoppolo that they were bringing in. But a lot of the points you mentioned could be reasons why they're not getting pick of the litter this year.
No, they're not going to get pick of the litter. And I think, I understand, unfortunately, and unlike you, I do not see Mike McDaniel at all as a quarterback whisperer. I think Tua does everything pretty much on his own. The only thing that Mike did was that he believed in him, but I don't think he makes him a better quarterback. In fact, I think McDaniel hurts him as a coordinator because he doesn't really know how to call plays. He doesn't really get him in on time. He does a lot of shit that kind of hurts his own team. So for me, I can never look at McDaniel as a quarterback whisperer. Plus, what you did with Skylar Thompson was unforgivable. For that guy to be around you for 3 years and not know that he can't get the job done. I mean, David, that was pretty bad. So to me, Zach Wilson is not an answer. There is no way that you actually can count on Zach Wilson coming off the bench. So either you're going to find another veteran or you're going to draft somebody in the middle rounds.
Yeah, and I don't think drafting someone in the middle rounds is still definitely on the table. I wouldn't be surprised if they do carry 3 quarterbacks in 2025, and whenever they're all healthy, then the third one is just healthy, inactive, but with the thing that they're available as
Zach Wilson, you're carrying 3. With Zach Wilson on the team, you're carrying 3. There is no way anyone in the world can say that Zach Wilson is even a capable backup quarterback, dude. Seriously, like he's a bad backup quarterback.
Well, I'm guessing from that perspective, because you only need him to be a backup also. I understand his starting career, his starting tenure was was horrendous with the Jets. Who's to say he's not in the level of quarterback 33, right? Like first 32 are the starters, quarterback number 33 to 64, right? I wouldn't go that far to say he's not a backup quarterback either.
He's bad. He's bad.
I know.
Dude, we're talking.
I'm not putting him out of the top 64 either.
Let me explain something. A backup quarterback in the Rams is different than a backup quarterback in Miami. A backup quarterback for Washington is different than a backup quarterback in Miami. Why? The guy in Miami is going to miss several games every year because he chooses to do stupid things. The other guys do smart things, and they try to stay away from injuries. That's what normal quarterbacks do. I get Josh Allen plays a whole different ball game, and Lamar and all that. But most quarterbacks with a brain, they get rid of the ball. They don't really take on, contact, all that. So there's a good chance your backup quarterback is barely going to play. But if you're the Miami Dolphins front office and head coach, you must know your quarterback, your backup, your number 2 is going to play. And you have to count on him playing 4, 5, 6, 7 games because the guy you have starting refuses to learn how to take care of himself. So you have chosen to put Zach Wilson in a game 4, 5, 6, 7 times this year. I think that's a bad decision.
No, I mean, you're hitting it spot on, Big O. With the Dolphins, you need not a true backup quarterback where it's just, okay, he needs to be a top 64, right? You need a fringe starter because you need a guy who, yes, you can still get as a backup quarterback who will be willing to accept that job and not take on one of the starting jobs somewhere else, but who is who could be like in that top 30 if he's really going in there.
I don't know what Gardner Minshew.
Jimmy Garoppolo was at the top.
Yeah, I don't know what Gardner Minshew failed, but I would rather have Gardner Minshew than Zach Wilson.
Yeah, he's a guy who's proven to go in and do some things whenever called upon, and be a guy who can lead an offensive unit and maybe corral some personalities, which you also need that aspect too in this huddle because you got a Tyreek Hill personality in that huddle. The second that the offense is off, now you're losing him too, and he's going by the wayside. So that's why, I wanted the veteran, proven, established. And sure, I mean, a backup quarterback who has started before, well, they lost their starting status because they weren't up to snuff for that. But still, you need someone who has a track record, who's done it before, to go into this system and do it. And instead of this reclamation project, which is what Zach Wilson feels like, where that's not who I want to bank a season on if Tua's missing 4 games on IR at a time. And then it's Zach Wilson is who you're counting on. And now there's some upside to it too. Zach Wilson has the tools like the live arm, the mobility to extend plays. That he has some of those raw things that you could work with and develop. But still, it is at the end of the day a reclamation project and not something that is solid and you can count on when the time comes.
Tiene la cabeza.
Tiene la cabeza. Does he have it all upstairs?
I've seen a lot of guys that can run around and they got a live arm and all that. And yet, it's like, if you're not, if you can't read, react, and define this stuff quickly, all those tools, they go to waste. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I see with Zach Wilson. Look, it's going to be fantastic because the Boca women that are, a little older with a whole bunch of, plastic surgery, they've got a guy now that is going to be interested in him. You know what I'm saying? So Zach's going to pick up a lot of phone numbers over there in Dolphin Stadium. At least that's going to be good for him. But I just feel zero confidence about Zach Wilson and about Mike McDaniel coaching Zach Wilson. I mean, I think I might feel better if Spo was coaching Zach Wilson.
To teach him how to distribute the ball effectively. I mean,
I'm just going with the real coach. I'm just going with the real coach here. So right now, early on, what are we looking at? Let's see, James Daniels, Larry Broom, Ifati, Belly Foul, whatever. Ikine, Nick Ikine, Ashton. I actually like the Ashton Davis pickup. Tyler Dotson, I'm glad they brought back. KJ Britt. And the return of the great Liam Eichenberg. So talk to me.
Yeah. What do you want to know first? I mean, Ifatu Melifonwu actually is a pickup that I do like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The two safeties are fine. The two safeties are right. I like the two safety moves. Actually.
Yeah. As I think it's only up from there from what they got out of the safety group last year, and you don't need to spend a lot when you have a Jalen Ramsey in there, and hopefully the pass rush is a little bit better if you get some help from Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips to pair with Chop Robinson, who is developing and should only take another step, and maybe some development in Mo Kamara as well. So especially when you have Zach Sealer on the defensive line, still need to beef that up. But if Calais Campbell comes back, which I'm not sure that would happen, but that would be great. But you don't need like stars at safety, which you can still add in the draft. Let's keep in mind they have 10 picks, and then if they get their hands on one of those top safeties in this draft, that'll be even better. But Melifonwu, I like how just versatile he is. That he's started off his corner.
He can cover.
Didn't really. Right. So he had to transition to safety, and I mean he's just very physical for his size. So, and you talk about you need to add physicality on this team. So I like him that he's a dog in that sense that he can play free safety and have the range. He can go into the box and thump with the bigger guys. He can cover the slot and play the nickel. He can even go back to that boundary. And so very versatile piece when you talk about a defense under Anthony Weaver, that ultimate chess piece. That's what Anthony Weaver likes to use Jalen Ramsey as. Well, now you have another guy who can move around with Ramsey. Wherever Ramsey is vacating, you can go move him around. Kader Kohu can do the same thing, assuming you're able to bring him back as a restricted free agent. You can go from the slot out to the boundary if needed. They still probably need another corner. So unless you're counting on Cam Smith and his development, or Storm Duck and developing him, which are options if you will go the cheap route there, but you probably still need a veteran to go in and compete. Even if it's on the cheaper end, I would still like a veteran that can compete for that job. So it's not just we're counting on you, Cam, we're counting on you, Storm. So probably still need someone there. Ashton Davis, like you said, he's a guy who can make some plays. I mean, he's got more interceptions than Javon Holland, playing a lot less. So he's a guy who can go and get you the football back, force some turnovers, maybe get a little risky with it, but still he's capable of doing that. So I do like the safety moves, and Nick Westbrook Akine I also like, or Akine I also like, just because he brings you a possession receiver, long-armed, big body, that once you get down there in the red zone, now Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, their job is done. You get down in the red zone, you're throwing it up to him and to Jonnu Smith.
Oh, will McDaniel use him is the question, bro. You get a big
I hope so. That's why they got him, right?
Huh?
I hope so. That's why you bring him in, right? So I hope so. And he also does the little things right, like blocking and route running. So that could be a good fit. Those are some low-key moves that I really like. On top of, I do like, if James Daniels is healthy, I like him at guard as well.
I'm with you there. I think all these moves, Broom is a rotational tackle. I like James Daniels. I think he'll be a starter. I like the two safeties. I'm with you there. I think Tyler Dotson proved last year he fit this system and played well. Overall, I'm with you. I actually think that these moves now are they. See, here's my problem, and here's where I have the issue. And you're not good enough as it is. Are you fielding a better team than last year? I would say not. And do you have a great coach? No. So I need a coach that's going to be even better than he was last year, and the guy you had last year wasn't good enough. And so that's my problem, that a coach like this needs a team that's over talented to make up for his lack of being a good game day coach. Well, right now I can't say that they're building a team that is better than the one that left last year off that roster. So that's where, even though I like these moves and I think they can fill some holes, but I just don't think they have enough to overcome the coach is the problem.
Well, and the roster's not complete yet. This is just the first wave of free agency, so there's still moves that are going to be made. Maybe over the weekend, second week, and probably not big splashes, but still, there's still roster spots that are going to be handed out via free agency, and then you get really into all the pro days, getting out there, using all the stuff you learned at the combine from different prospects. And this team has 10 draft picks, a first rounder, a second rounder, deep into the third. A lot of these day 3 picks that they can use to move up if they really like a guy. So let's keep in mind, there's probably going to be an offensive line addition in the draft, maybe a tight end, maybe one of the top safeties in the draft. Defensive line, I think they really need to bring an infusion of young talent on the defensive line because, yes, you got Zach Sealer there coming off back-to-back double-digit sack seasons. And if Calais Campbell comes back, great. But still, he's going to be 39. And even when fully healthy like he was last year, you're not playing him for more than half the defensive snaps in any game. So you still need young defensive linemen to come in. So I would like to see him bulk up there through the draft. And actually, Deshaun Hand, I think, was a big loss. Deshaun Hand was a solid player for them last year. So rotational guy who really stepped up and might have had his best season as a pro. Really worked well under Weaver and under Austin Clark, Anthony Weaver, defensive coordinator, Austin Clark, defensive line coach in development. So big loss there. So maybe they can do some of that with a player they bring in that's a cheaper veteran with a rookie in the draft. But yeah, still not a complete picture of the roster. So I don't want to jump to too many conclusions, but I think they're improving on the offensive line. They could get better play out of the safeties than while being more economical than having to pay a Javon Holland. So some maybe problem areas I think they have addressed with also bringing in a possession receiver who could be that third in the receiving core in NWI, Nick Westbrook-Akine.
All right, so what are you leaning on now in that first round as we see the free agency filling? And I thought, okay, defensive tackle or guard. I'm still thinking defensive tackle or guard with that first round pick. Or where are you going?
Yeah, I could see that where you could go the Will Campbell route where now, because maybe he didn't have that great of a combine, I saw him slipping a little bit. So maybe if he's dropping a little bit and he's available at 13, that would be now a home run. I remember we were talking about him very early in the offseason, maybe some momentum. And I think it was kind of like building up too much for him where he was going to be out of reach. There was no chance he would fall to 13, but maybe coming off the combine, maybe he's the one that slips. If Armand Membu, who had a great combine, is the one that skyrockets and he's maybe the first offensive lineman taken. I would still love a Kelvin Banks out of Texas where he's a tackle, but maybe has some of the traits that he could play guard in this system. And the Texas offense, they actually ran the same system as Mike McDaniel and the Dolphins do, where I heard from another one of the Texas linemen in this draft who was training down here at Pete Bommarito's that Texas actually grabbed some plays from the Dolphins in reviewing their film and used some of the same offensive plays in their system. So just for the scheme fit, then that would be fantastic. Kelvin Banks out of Texas. Now, I would also love a Gray Zabel where first round pick 13 is way too high for him maybe, but I think he'd be gone by the time you're picking in the second round at 48. So if maybe you do go defensive tackle with Nolan out of Ole Miss or Grant out of Michigan with the first pick, maybe you can use some of that day 3 draft capital to move up in the second. If he's sticking around there a little bit, Gray Zabel would be a home run in this offense. Also very versatile as an offensive lineman. So yeah, I mean, up front, the trenches, that's what I want to see.
Don't forget, folks, Welton Rayom, Jeff Welton, Daniel Rayom can help you out if you got homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury, bankruptcy. A lot of people dealing with that right now. The consultation's completely free. If you had an incident happen to you, you don't know if you have a case or not, call Jeff Welter, Daniel Rayom. Take the time. They will listen to you. The consultation's free. They'll tell you if you have a case or not. Maybe they can help you. Maybe you may need someone else. You know, some of our listeners at times have called, have explained everything to them, and they've led them to other lawyers, a part of their firm, just lawyers they know in the business because they don't handle a specific case. So they might even help you along the way. That's how great these guys are. So they can help you with your case. So check it out. Call them 954-966-4646. All right, so we look at free agency. What's the next move? Are the big names pretty much off the board that you think they can get? Is there any chance that Daniels was the only big move that they're going to make, if you can call that a big move?
Yeah, well, what still has me holding out hope is that the Dolphins were willing and making an offer to Joey Bosa, who they missed out on. So if you go by the logic of, well, if they're willing to spend the money on him and maybe didn't match the price that he was ultimately getting in Buffalo, which I think he got $12 million there.
So maybe they were no-balling him and offering him $9 million or something.
Right, where maybe that kind of money can now be used elsewhere if you went ahead and missed on Joey Bosa, where, hey, I look at actually another local product, St. Thomas Aquinas product in Asante Samuel Jr. So, yeah, Joey Bosa went to Aquinas, Asante Samuel. Maybe he's interested in a homecoming. The Dolphins might need a corner. So I'd love to see him, replace that Kendall Fuller role. He's kind of like that one that's still sticking around. So I do wonder, as far as like the top, because a lot of the top cornerbacks are already off the market that were available in free agency so far. Clearly, the team went and solidified safety where they had no starters just because everyone was a free agent, aside from Patrick McBoris, the rookie they took last year. So you needed bodies there to begin with. Made sure to shore that up. But that'd be a corner I like. And then, defensive line. Now, obviously, there's a big waiting game with Calais Campbell. Last season, he didn't make his decision until June when he decided, he was coming back and he was joining the Dolphins. Obviously, you want him back, like on a scale of 1 to 10, you want him back at like 20, just because of how he brings the locker room together, the leader that he is on a team that really needs a leader like that. But also just his play. So what if he's 39? What he's able to provide is immeasurable.
What's your gut tell you, bro, on Campbell and Armstead? What's your gut tell you? Because I got him going 0 for 2.
Yeah, I mean, I would lean to say Campbell goes to if he comes back, because retirement is in the cards for both of them. If Campbell comes back, I would say, and plays, I would say it's to the Baltimore Ravens. I would make them the favorites.
Why would those old guys want to come back to a team that has no chance to win it? Come on, bro.
Right. It comes down to how they see that. And then, what still gives me some hope is the relationship that Campbell has with Anthony Weaver. And if he can sell him on that, and obviously Miami is a nice place to be, for the same reasons that he decided to come originally. And if he feels like it could be a winning solution with the way they did win some games at the end of the year, and the second half was a lot better than how they started, and they basically put themselves out of it with the first half, where if Tua is healthy, maybe he could see it. But I mean, if you're him, you gotta look at it and say, I got a way better shot if I go back to Baltimore, because that was sort of the place that was in the talks at the trade deadline when the Dolphins were 2-6 at that point. And then, that's where it was, okay, the Ravens are offering, bring him back to Baltimore where he has been. The Ravens are obviously a lot closer. So if Calais Campbell wants to say, this is it, this is the last one, the final hurrah, then if I'm him, I go to Baltimore and try to win it there.
Follow him on Twitter at David Furones _. Make sure you check out his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel, and you subscribe. David, as always, thank you, my brother. Have a fantastic weekend. We'll get back to normal again. We'll catch up on Tuesday.
Yes, sir. Sounds good.
You got it. There you go. The great David Furones and our Welt and Rayom Miami Dolphins report.
This has been another session of the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins Report with David Furones. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
All right. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend that is Steve Calebro. Yes, sir. General Mangler.
Big O, man. You're looking sharp there. You got the shades on.
Yes.
How you feeling?
I feel good, man. The constant lights will bother me a little bit. So that's why I'm holding onto the shades for today, because I'll get 2 more days to rest over the weekend.
So you're on broadcast. You're on broadcast concussion protocol.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah,
basically,
this is what it is, right?
Basically.
Broadcast.
But the headaches are gone.
That's good.
Which is good, and the dizziness is gone.
That's good.
And so
okay to
the
drive?
lightheadedness is what it is, not dizziness.
Okay to drive?
I drove here, so yeah.
But that's different than okay to drive.
Yeah. The wife is with me. She was in the passenger seat because we went to a funeral before this.
Oh boy!
So it was kind of a full day.
Well,
today.
you had a rough week.
It was it was a rough week. And so it was interesting, man. It was just one of those where I learned a lesson. All my life, alarm rings, I pop out of bed and just take off. And in the middle of the night, I've been in the same house for 25 years. And in the darkness, I just get up when I got to go pee, and I just go to the bathroom, come back in the darkness. I never turn on any lights because muscle memory, exactly
where you're going. You're going.
Right. So, and I sleep a little bit in an incline. I also take, what's it called? Blood thinning medication because of my heart. So what happened that night was my doctor told me what happened to you was what has never happened to you probably. Your blood was in your head at that time. So your muscle memory carried you all the way to the bathroom. And then when you were coming back, you blacked out. But you were in a black room blacking out, so you didn't know.
Hit the ground like a rock.
And I hit the ground. I hit the back of my head. I got 4 staples here. I was convulsing, and my wife had to knock me out of it and all that crap. She saved my life basically. And so he goes to me, your stage now in your life, when you wake up out of bed, you're not 18. You can't just run out of bed. You must get up and lift your head up. Wait. Settle. Put your feet down. Settle. And all that. And here's the funny part. I normally at my house, nowhere else, I sit and I pee
at night because you don't want to.
It's a mess. It's
right. Your wife
cleans the bathroom and you're an asshole.
No, but in the morning she opens. What the hell did he do last night?
You're an asshole. You're peeing all over the place.
You can't believe what I'm going to tell you after this.
And so I've been in my house. Everywhere else I stand, but in my house I sit and I pee. That night I didn't sit and pee. He goes, if you sit, you recalibrate.
That's why you should have sat at the edge of your bed. That's why he's telling you. Yeah.
He goes, if you sit,
lesson learned for everybody, for your viewer, for your listeners,
for
everybody, for me, for Sean, everybody. Well, Sean's not. He's not getting. He's got to catch us.
No. You're not catching us. No, all of us. No, all of us at this age.
Half a century. I give my right arm to be half a century.
Yeah, I think if you get to your 40s, I think you start doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I think you just gotta take it, and. I got lucky. I mean, I went through hell, but I got lucky, and so
your wife was a hero, but she probably was scared shit a little.
She's still scared shitless.
Yeah,
she's still in shock.
It's just
she saw me convulsing. Bro.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. The man she loves is down the ground, like
Yeah,
like, holy crap, what's going to happen?
Right, exactly. So
well, it's good to hear you back.
It was.
Listen, I got to tell you something. You're not going to believe this.
Hey, listen, bro. I got to be back. I need this fucking bull run, bro. I got to finish the bull run out. I mean, he's building up this volcano.
It's going to be big.
Yeah, it's going to be painful, but early.
Opportunistic.
You get that.
I think it's opportunistic.
You get that, and I get that.
In a lot of markets.
You get that, I get that. But you see the retail people dropping all. They're selling their NVIDIAs. They're selling
today's
Bitcoin.
Market was good, though. No, today's market was good.
I know, but that's because the rest of us are going, whoa, I got Bitcoin at 80,000. Okay.
This is a dream come true.
I got a video right now. I got it right. Exactly.
It's a dream come true.
Right. I explained to you what they're going to do. They got to refinance 9.2 trillion this year. He's got to lower the bond rates. This is what he's doing. He's shocking the hell out of the markets, forcing. I said this 2 weeks ago on the Crypto Bro Show, which I doubt you listened to it. 2 weeks ago, I predicted
I'm in the crypto
this.
world. I'm a little bit in the
2
crypto
weeks
world.
ago, I predicted it. I said, "Do you catch it?" I said, "This is a game of chicken between Powell and Trump." Remember? Did you catch that episode? If you guys listen to Crypto Bro Show 2 weeks ago, maybe 3, I said in one of the episodes, this is a game of chicken between Powell and Trump. Trump wants Powell to lower the interest rates, and he hasn't. So now he's going to scare the crap out of everything and everybody, and tariffs this, tariff that, and he's 200%. Shaking up the market, and then people are panic. The sad part is the people that don't understand this panic.
A lot of people do. You know, but I have to get back to something. This is amazing.
But you are right. It is the opportunity of
your viewers and listeners are not going to believe what I say now. On Tuesday morning, I'm driving into work. I call my friend Alan. I'm going to say his name because I want him to listen to this broadcast to verify this. He tells me a similar story. He's about our age.
Oh.
And he had a similar nighttime incident. You know, not as bad as yours was, but he had a bad incident. Ended up hurting his back and
got injured.
So think about it. Think about where we're at.
Yeah.
30 years ago, we had conversations about a lot of different things.
Yes.
But not these conversations.
So lights. Make sure you have lights
and
when you get up,
and
make sure
you're slow. Despacio. This nice and slow. Not everything. Just get up.
Take it easy.
Get settled. You know, don't rush.
Take it easy. Take it easy.
Anyhow, maybe we can give that advice to Chris Greer. Now I know I don't.
By the way, you're getting Ethereum at a gift.
I'm what?
You're getting Ethereum at a gift. Ethereum at a gift.
Oh, I know. I know. And I've at this point I've tripled down. Well, you know, three different.
You're blessed. Oh my God.
I love Ethereum. I love it. I love it. Oh, by the way, your shirt is fantastic. For the viewers to see the big. You know, I'm jumping around.
The dive? I mean, is this dip? You had to have taken a dive.
I haven't, not yet.
Oh
I haven't.
My God.
I'm a big Ethereum guy. For some reason.
Oh, keep taking.
I know everybody knows Bitcoin,
okay,
but
can I predict something that's going to happen? I'm going to predict something that's going to happen. Okay, he's going to keep doing some stuff here. We're going to head for more downfall here. We're all going to go lower. Once the real crap hits the fan, everything's going to be hurting except one thing is going to skyrocket.
And it's going to happen fast. It's going to happen fast.
And
it's going to happen in like 5 days, and it's going to be too late.
And remember what happened?
Not too late, but
5 years ago, when Bitcoin hit 67,000 from the 20s or the 30s, and it just shot, and everybody. It's because the rich people thought recession was coming, so they went and hid their money where they knew it was going to grow.
Yeah, I see you.
And then when they found out it wasn't coming, they pulled it back out again, and it went back down. So if this happens, we're not in the 20s and 30s anymore. We're in the 80s now or 90s.
It's going to go to 120.
It's going to go to 150 or 170. So I'm just telling you,
it's going to happen fast.
That it's the one asset in the world. Gold will also bounce, but it won't bounce not like Bitcoin.
Not like Bitcoin.
But Bitcoin is going to. That's why I'm telling you, folks. This Bitcoin right now in the 80s,
I don't disagree with you. I listen. I'm just a regular piker. You know, I'm a working class guy, so I'm trying to buy a little here and there.
But you're an ETH whale now.
I'm in Ethereum. I'm all about because I don't know. There's something I like about it.
No, you're just smart.
A smidge better than Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is still great.
Wait a minute. These people are really rich are buying it. Let me go buy.
Or everybody else is buying, not just rich. Everybody. And so you're that logo. So now we're having a little bit of an internal. Maybe some listeners can weigh in.
What do you got?
So we have, this month we're giving away your choice of a Mercedes, right?
Right.
I announced last time I was here, April, we're going to do a Bitcoin $50,000 crypto. But now we're having a little bit of an internal argument. I just let the cat out of the bag there. So should it be $50,000 crypto, and we'll buy whatever crypto you want, or $50,000 Bitcoin? Because everybody knows Bitcoin. Like, have you seen you see the Ethereum logo? It's kind of like blah. It's like a diamond.
Yeah.
It's like a diamond, right? Bitcoin, that logo is for real. So we're having a little internal argument. We're going to settle this in the next week. The billboard's coming out.
I think I settled that for you guys like a year ago. With my idea.
No, there's no disputing that. I'm just happy that we're doing it. I'm just happy we're doing it. Like we'll be the first casino that I know of that's giving away. Think of that billboard. Think of that sign you're looking at. $50,000 Bitcoin giveaway.
Can I give you an idea?
Sure. I'd love it.
An idea that'll maybe produce a little money for you also. Tangem. Why don't you have a representative of your company reach out to the Tangem company, tangem.com.
For the wallets.
All right, and tell them the giveaway you're doing.
That's a great idea.
And that we want them to responsibly handle their crypto with Tangem. So
and be involved in this. You can be involved and get
we will put your advertising
right there on our ads.
And then
it's like the Mercedes is given by Miami of North by
the way,
Miami.
They'll probably send you a couple free Tangems.
Well, I already have my wallet.
No, but what
but for the company,
for the company, maybe one for the company so they can have their own crypto holdings. Sure. Maybe you guys will start accepting crypto soon. By the way,
listen, to that point, another breaking news, so to speak, for your listeners. We got the Florida Gaming Commission. The Florida Gaming Commission has a workshop in May 13th, that we're going to hear about cashless slot machines. So cashless will sort of be cashless will be first, and then from cashless, one of the ways to load the cashless wallet in a slot machine will be Bitcoin. It will be a second or third generation of cashless slot machines.
Right.
The workshop, matter of fact, the workshop's more than a workshop. We've had workshops before, and the state is introducing rules, language to the rules, and we got to kind of work on them. So it's coming. It's coming. It's just around the corner, So
I was telling people 5 years ago about this. So
but if any of your viewers have an opinion, I think it should just be $50,000 Bitcoin. But then there's some people are crypto, Bitcoin.
No, it should only be Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
Right now,
cooler.
Right now, the dog is Bitcoin.
Yeah,
Bitcoin runs everything.
Yeah, it's the monster.
It runs everything.
So Miami Dolphins. Can I just bitch for a little?
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean,
it's really easy to do.
Can we stop being a bargain basement, general manager of?
I explained that we're a hot seat team. We're a hot seat team.
No, come on. How's that worked out for us?
Okay, so no. What I'm saying is they have no choice because you brought back McDaniel, and so everybody knows that he's here for 1 year if he doesn't make it. So the best free agents aren't going to want to come here because then they got to reset and they got to go somewhere else. Reggie McKenzie. It's Marvin Allen, Reggie McKenzie, and Chris Greer, three of the personnel guys. Reggie left to Tennessee. Tennessee's going nowhere.
They're
nowhere.
In the
but he's from Tennessee, so he basically went home for a consultant job. He took a lateral, maybe even less than lateral position at Tennessee because you're not going to win. And he knew that this was a hot seat year, so he didn't even stick around. So it's just. This is really not a good situation. They wanted Garoppolo or they wanted Josh Dobbs. They didn't want Zach Martin. They ended up with the MILF monster.
Think about it. I'm from New Jersey, right? I know some Jet fans. I got to take a lot of crap now.
I know.
Because we got Zach Wilson as our backup quarterback.
I mean, I'm glad Mrs. Wilson will be in the building because she's kind of hot.
That whole thing is weird, too. His mom. It's his mom.
It's his mom.
Yeah, that's
She's
weird.
Kind of hot.
Since when are we talking about NFL players' moms?
I am.
I know, but that's weird. Come on. The whole Zach Wilson thing is weird, right? I'm ready to pull my hair out with that. My wife is beside herself. She's not like a football expert, right? And she's like, that guy they got, he really stunk at the Jets. Right. And then he stunk at that. I know, honey. I know you're right. You're right. And now she's like, she's got a point. It's just so tough. They're making it tougher. The only thing good about Miami is it's in nice weather.
I mean, I've told everybody I don't really have a lot of hope for this season.
When you see these, Zach Wilson.
I hope they surprise the shit out of
Alexander Madison. Come on. I mean,
it's just a jag.
It's a guy you give a jersey to.
Yeah.
It's like, are you kidding
Just a
me?
guy.
Yeah, I mean,
just a guy. Nothing special there.
I don't know. I mean, Westbrook. I mean, I don't know.
I like the Westbrook guy. Will they use him? Because they need Tua needs a 6'2". Yeah, well, Tua does need a possession 6'2" receiver because he's got a bunch of Boompa Loompas. So I do like it. Now, will McDaniel use him?
Yeah, but he just replaces Berrios. Well, how many really opportunities did the third guy get?
That's That's up to your coach.
And McDaniels.
If you're worried about the two speedsters, then and
somebody's
John
got to be open.
and John who's out there,
Yeah.
somebody's got to be open, bro. I mean, it can't be rocket science that you could get the third receiver open for Christ's sake.
Maybe Farrell.
I mean,
No, I'm
come
just
on.
kidding. I'm
Dude,
just kidding.
I've seen slow white guys catch passes as the third guy forever in the NFL.
Let's see. I can tell you though.
Oronde Gadsden couldn't run, and you couldn't cover him. So you got to be able to find people that can run routes. You don't have to run fast. You got to be able to run
might
routes.
Be that third option. I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? But it's
listen.
like to me, it's coaching. If you can't get that third receiver involved, I don't blame the talent that's there. I think the talent was fine. I blame the coach. You got to, dude. Jimmy Cephalo, for Christ's sake, was a decent third receiver, and it wasn't that he couldn't run. He wasn't a fast guy.
Wasn't a speedster,
but he
wasn't
can.
bad,
but he can run routes.
He could run. Yeah, he could get open. He could get open
because you run routes. You know how to set people up. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to have outright speed to be a great receiver. You got to be able to know how to set people up.
It's a good segue to this guy. Maybe you've heard me talk about it. It's not often, but he's from New Jersey. I don't know if I told you I'm from New Jersey, but the finally somebody respected Mike Gesicki, and they're paying Gesicki $25,500.
Oh, yeah.
Finally,
Yeah.
Finally somebody said, "Hey, you know what? This guy's a money
can play.
receiver. He catches the ball on 3rd down and 8. He catches the ball in the end zone." Oh, what did Chris Greer and Mike
McDaniel, the coach.
He's not in our system.
The
What, are you
coach.
kidding me? Are you kidding me?
The coach.
It just drives me nuts.
I could have used Gesicki as my third receiver, my big receiver.
He's proven. Now, let me tell you something. I think Cincinnati is set this year.
Well, huh? Did they sell the team? No, why? With T. Higgins and Jamar?
Yeah.
Well, that's what they say, but they already tagged him. So
let me tell you, they're going
All
for
right.
it. Big
All
O,
right.
they're going for it.
Well, if Mike Brown's going to spend the money, is he giving the pass rusher the money too? The FAU kid?
I'm telling you, Cincinnati's going to be a force. Cincinnati this year, load up Cincinnati players on your fantasy team. I'm telling you, bet me on this. Cincinnati.
I will
setting it up.
I will be absolutely shocked if he does keep both T. Higgins and
Can he afford it? How can he afford it?
No, you can. You can make it happen, but not long term.
Yeah, you got to spread it out.
Yeah, you're gonna have to like play with the money
I
here.
just- I-
but you're also going to be short in so many other areas because you got to pay
your
the
defense
quarterback,
might be hurting.
the two receivers, and if they pay also the pass rusher.
They paid Gesicki pretty good too, $8.5 million a year. It's not.
I don't know.
They paid a lot of guys there. So
I don't know how you're going to
give
give
defense.
I mean, I know Higgins is tagged, so they could get by this year with Chase and Higgins. Chase under a contract, Higgins under a tag, and then they lose him next year. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
I think they're
I'll
gonna
believe that when I see it.
I think they're going all in. I think they're going all in this year. Anyhow, that being said, I'm before I leave, poker room is packed again. Right
Yes.
here, a lot of action. Got over a dozen tables right now, going nice and strong. We got a lot of high hands. We got all kinds of promotions. We got. You've met Harold? Harold,
yeah, of course.
He's our poker marketing manager. He is up in the.
He's
just
awesome.
Every day there's a promo. Like I think today they're giving away. Next week. Let's talk about it next week.
Oh, by the way,
Yes.
I know this is kind of an off thing, but remember we got to get the wise guys basketball picks.
I know. So I talked to him
next
about
week.
it. I
All
talked
right.
to him about it, and he was like wishy-washy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like, whoa, yo, what are you doing to me now? Yeah, he plays tough guys. So, they're from Jersey. They kind of, I gotta go see him in person. I'm going up at the end of March. I gotta slap him around a little and say, come on now, you know the NBA, like I think better than the NFL personally. He was.
It's hard. The NBA, man.
No, yeah, that's a little tougher. It's a little tougher.
Man,
The spreads
the NBA,
are tough.
The NBA is tough, dude.
And there's a lot of games.
Yes.
There's a lot of games. But
Yes.
yeah, I will get that, but he was a little wishy-washy when I talked to him about it. He was
Okay.
like, "Oh man," and it was almost like he was like, he's in retirement a little, you know. He's getting up there at his age, and he doesn't want to be doing too many picks. He's getting cocky, like a normal Jersey guy, right?
That's a beautiful
He's getting
thing.
cocky. I'll go up. I'll take care of him.
Okay,
I'll have a little bit of a
All right.
heart-to-heart,
All right, good
heart-to-heart
stuff.
conversation. Maybe give him an offer that he can't refuse.
All right, that's what we like to hear from the casino manager.
All right. Be good. I'll end it with
All
that.
right, Steve.
Take care. Have a
You
good
got it.
one.
The great Steve Calebro, baby. Come on out here. You can win, baby. Win. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Big time. All right. They're giving away the Mercedes, right? So, yeah. His, no, it's a Mercedes of choice, right? SUV or car this month. And then next month, $50,000 of, I think it'll be Bitcoin when you're smart. You go Bitcoin, bro. Come on. You know.
You definitely market it as Bitcoin if you're going to do anything instead of the word crypto. Just because Bitcoin's the, like you said, the on fire word.
Right. That's the way you got to go, man. Let's see what we got here. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. True Fin Fan, thank you for the love on Cash App. Says, please take care of yourself, cojones. Thank you, True Fin Fan, for the Cash App, man. That is very nice of you, sir. Very nice of you. Thank you. And then he just sent in another one. Yes, Jerry Rice was not fast, 4.6. Best route runner in the NFL. That's it. It's a perfect example. By the way, our friends at Subaru of Pembroke Pines, they have got it going on, baby. And they've got a lot of great deals going on right now. Let me tell you about some of them. The Ascent right now, you can get the premium for $323 a month. Absolutely outstanding. You can also get the Onyx Edition Touring Ascent 2025 model, $423 a month. That is just an absolutely crazy deal. The Subaru Forester, oh baby, you can get it for $259 a month. Check it out. Get on down there. Check out Subaru of Pembroke Pines. The Crosstech, you can get it for $239 a month. That is a sharp-looking vehicle. The Outback, $289 a month. The Legacy Premium, you can get $269 a month. All of these lease features take advantage. The 5-door Impreza, yes, $149 a month. I am not getting this wrong. I'm not concussed. I was, but not right now. It's $149 a month. The WRX Premium, $366 a month, 2024 model. Take advantage of it, folks. Get on down there. Tell them that Big O sent you. They will take care of you. We're going to be broadcasting live there at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. We'll be out there on the last Wednesday of the month at 16100 Pines Boulevard, Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Yes, sir.
Some NFL notes.
Bills
GM Brandon Beane said that new defensive end Michael Holt and defensive tackle Larry Ogunjobi got a notice for PED and are suspended for the first 6 games to start 2025.
Okay.
And then Aaron Wilson was the one that sent out the contract talks with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Several league sources expressed optimism of development contract talks with an average evaluations of $40 million for Chase, $28 for Higgins. That's where I got that from. But they don't say anything about the defensive end. And I saw in the chat that Skylar Tipton said that they're looking to trade their best defender. So I'm going to try and do some research on that one.
Yeah, the FAU kid.
Yeah.
Who's a badass. Definitely. Humble Legend, thank you for the love in the super chat. Big O, you got to stick around and suffer with the rest of us Fins fans. I'll be here to suffer, bro. I'll be watching. I'll be supporting. We'll be doing our pre and post game shows. I'm just not a BS artist. I'm not going to lie to you and make stuff up. I don't have a lot of hope for this season. I hope they surprise the crap out of me. I hope when, if everything goes well, Sean and I are in Spain watching it and and the game means a ton, and that it's a big win, and it's, it's positioning them for the playoffs. I just don't know how McDaniel becomes the coach he's never been. And that's really my problem with that. I don't know how that happens. I just don't expect it, and that's the issue I have with it. So, but Humble Legend, thank you, sir, for the super chat. So we've got players that will fill needs. James Daniels will fill needs. 3-year, $27 million deal. 27-year-old. Played only 4 games, had an Achilles injury, but should be ready for camp. I'm not worried really about the injury overall. I think he should be fine and should be ready to go, and should be an impactful player for them at guard. Something that they do need. Larry Broom is a guy that's going to be competing with Keon for a swing tackle role. I do like the 2 safeties, Ifetu, I don't know, however you pronounce it, and Ashton Davis. I do like those 2 guys. So they might get something out of the safety position. They might be half decent there. I do like the big receiver, the Nick Ikine kid. Again, it's up to the coach. It's kind of like the whole, Steve Calebro had a great example when he brought up Gesicki. It's like, it's not that Gesicki couldn't play. It's that Mike McDaniel's not a good coach. You got to be able to use people. Whether, in the middle of a season, you have a quarterback in Jim Jensen that you're not using, and you end up making him like, a third down H-back clutch player, and he's on your roster, and Shula finds another way to use him. That's what great coaching is all about. And if you have a player and he's on your roster, you just can't say, oh, square peg, round hole, can't fit, we can't make it happen. Well, then you're not crafty enough as a coach to find a way to say, well, wait a minute, we can adjust a little bit on our end to help accommodate him, and he can then fit in our offense in this fashion, in our defense in that fashion. And that's where Mike McDaniel does a piss poor job. So hopefully he'll use this guy. The Tyler Dodson kid, he played lights out, bro. He played like your best linebacker. So definitely sign him. KJ Britt looks like a rotational guy, struggles in coverage, just good against a run. Again, probably a backup linebacker, if anything. Liam Eichenberg. I went out on a limb last year and said, hey, Liam Eichenberg's, I thought the whole Austin Jackson thing, all right, so he's going to have his best season. And Liam Eichenberg really proved to us that he is the real competition for the Australian breakdancer of the Olympics. What was her name? Oh, God, what was her name? Somebody help me out. What was the name of the Australian breakdancer? Radar? I'm the one concussed here? Ray Gunn. I'm the one concussed here. Anyway, Ray Gunn, okay? Eichenberg is Ray Gunn's competition. Guy's on the floor all the time. I mean, come on. Ray Gunn and Eichenberg would be an absolutely great breakdancing competition. I think Eichenberg wins. I think that's why she retired. She saw the talents of Liam Eichenberg. And she said, it's over. This guy's going to become the new star. So she retired. I can't answer the Liam Eichenberg one. I have no answer for that one. I can't explain it.
You think he's paying the team and they just announced that he's making the money and just he's paying to be on there? He's paying to come to work out?
I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you, but it is.
So it's not a sexy group. It could be an actually effective group, but in the end, ladies and gentlemen, if the guy that stands in the middle of the field on the sidelines with his little pants and shoes, designer pants and shoes, if he can't put things together, which he consistently proves that, it just doesn't really matter. It just doesn't really matter. You know? Inter Miami beat Cavalier FC last night. Suarez and Messi with goals. The question is, will they do it on Sunday? Because Messi's Atlanta's bitch. Okay?
Yep.
I'm just saying, in the ATL, they got to say, Messi, you're our bitch. So we're going to find out on Sunday if Messi continues to be Atlanta United's bitch.
And then also their next round draw in the CONCACAF isn't.
Yeah, it's LAFC, right?
LAFC, yeah.
That's going to be good.
Yeah.
It's going to be really
I think
good.
it's in April. I thought it was like next week, like they've been doing the Tuesday. Like,
no.
I'm glad it's like.
Yeah, they get some time now.
Yeah, I think it's April 9th is their match. They sent it out today.
Are we doing U.S. Open Cup? I don't even know. Are they going to do that craziness too, man?
I would hope not. If they're coming off this,
because they're going to do Leagues Cup again, right?
I think so. So they're already in.
Christ, dude.
I mean, you're stretching Messi out.
He can't even play all the games. He had to come in at halftime last night in the 51st minute.
Yep.
So yeah, Panthers at Les Canadiens Saturday. They lose to Boston. They have the Canadiens, and then Toronto, and then the Islanders, and Columbus, and then Washington. And we'll see. Again, the Ekblad suspension becomes a blessing in disguise. Ekblad is an injury-prone player. He gets 20 games off, no injury now for 20 games. He gets fresh for the playoffs. They're so good, they don't even need him to get into the playoffs. It just becomes like it works all out. And then they'll get Chucky Boy back for the playoffs. And then they added Brad Marchand now. I mean, it's just ridiculous, the Panthers, bro.
Isn't this the same thing that happened with the Lightning that one year?
Yes.
Where they had like everybody come back right at the end of and then they made that run.
Yeah. Yeah. Except the Panthers are good right now, even without those guys. And then when they get those guys, it's going to be ridiculous. All right, we're going to start hour number 3. Have we taken a commercial break? Not at all. So I'm back, fresh off concussions, 2 straight hours of talk.
The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. If you're a Miami sports fan, there's only one store to go to, and that's Canes Wear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Canes Wear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro. Exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
All right. How you feeling, man? You feeling good?
I'm feeling good. Oh, I'm hoping you're feeling better, man.
Yeah, I am. I'm feeling better, bro. I'm recovering and I kept my shades on indoors here only because of the lights. But yeah, overall no headaches and stuff. So I'm moving on, bro. And I was driving today and everything. So I'm kosher, bro. I'm kosher. I can't really complain. I'm very fortunate. My wife saved my life and I'm good, man. So we are blessed to live a few more days. So we're here and we're ready to rock and roll. All right,
Every day is a blessing.
Yes, sir. Every day is a blessing. But I'll remind everybody now, don't be an idiot like me. Don't just get out of bed and rush. Take it easy. Get up. recalibrate, make sure you got your bearings, put your feet on the floor, make sure it's all kosher, stand up, all good, then move. Don't race out of bed, because that's what happened to me. I sleep in an incline. I'm on blood thinners. So and I do it all in the darkness every night when I go pee. So I went dark, walked to pee, and as I was coming back, the doc says basically the blood wasn't in my head at that moment, and I just boom,
yeah.
blood pressure, blood sugar, whatever it is. You were lying down and you were in an incline, all your blood's down, and and then I blacked out in a black room. So that's why you got to have lights. You got to recalibrate, all that kind of good stuff. That would be my suggestion to everybody out there.
Well, I'm glad to see you're okay and you're back on the show, brother.
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely. Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right. By the way, I saw Mario Cristobal today.
You did? Where was he?
Well, he was at a funeral with me, because we were at Billy Archer's funeral for the Big Cheese.
Okay.
We lost one of the owners about a week and a half ago.
Right.
And Mario Cristobal, the stud that he is, was at the funeral for Billy. So just he does everything right, bro. He's just got to get that stuff on the sidelines fixed, and that's it. Outside of that, he's perfect everywhere else, bro. It's a screwed up part. All right, man. Let's talk a little bit about breakups.
Yes.
Breaking up is so hard to do. Now, talk to me here. Neil Sedaka had a song like that back in the day, as I date myself.
Well, first of all, let's thank Hannah Cavender and Carson Beck for getting together in the first place, or Miami's quarterback situation would probably be a lot more precarious than it is. But I'm going
to thank Hannah and Haley Cavender for coming. And if you go look at their starting five every game, they probably had one of the hottest starting fives in NCAA. So that's where Haley and Hannah really contributed there. They helped out. I don't know about the whole I don't know. Did we really get a Carson Hannah love affair? Because we really never had both of them on campus at the same time with a love affair.
Right. Yeah. I guess it fizzled out, man. I guess they'd been together since last August. And ultimately their relationship helped lead Carson Beck to ending up at the University of Miami. So Miami's got
there you go.
They got their experience starting quarterback, but now it appears that has ended. It looks like they have broken up, according to. And by the way, I am stunned that all kinds of people, the New York Post, Fox News. I mean, all you have to be is a social media star. You don't even have to be famous, really, for anything you do on the field. Although Carson Beck, I guess, counts. And Hannah Cavender counts.
Twins are monsters, bro.
But who would have ever imagined 10 years ago the New York Post writing about a Miami Hurricanes women's basketball player breaking up with a quarterback? But that's essentially what everybody does nowadays.
So are you telling me Carson Beck stole her car? That's what happened? Is this all dates back to the theft? Is that what's going on? Because her car, she can't be that complaining. Come on.
Well, I think their last trip together, according to the tabloids. The tabloids cover the cover the love affairs of Miami Hurricanes. They had taken a trip to Nashville recently, and I guess in the last week, they have split up. Hannah has stopped following Carson and taken all of her references and photos off of her social media accounts with him. And that's the telltale sign nowadays. And then her sister, of course, Haley, gets on social media as well, puts out sort of a cryptic video supporting her sister. And so that's the world we live in nowadays, brother.
Okay. All right. So Hannah and Carson Beck, no more. We're all shocked. We're saddened. Will Carson Beck be able to even play quarterback this year?
He will, brother. He will. At some point, it took Brock Purdy about 5 months to get over his surgery. Carson, of course, had surgery in December, so you do the math.
Oh, no, but this is heart surgery.
Oh well, the heart surgery is a different
It's
entire.
different. I mean,
Yes,
it's a
yes.
broken heart. I mean,
I think Carson has already moved on. He's already getting in other women's Snapchats and
okay.
DMing behind the scenes. So that the heart is fine. It's the arm that
Okay.
that you probably have to worry about a little bit more. Plus, he's in South Florida where we have a bunch of beautiful women. So I'm sure he is, driving around in those expensive sports cars. He'll be fine.
So I know something Carson Beck will not be doing. He will not be going to practice as the boys return this week.
That's correct. Yes, if he is at all, it would be handing the ball off and handing Gatorade cups over whenever he does come back, because he can't throw yet. I mean, the point is, you need five months to recover. That's what Brock Purdy essentially took before he really started throwing the football. I mean, I guess he could soft toss if he really wanted to, but I'm sure the doctors will give him the green light when he's ready. Mario, when he mentioned Carson potentially being around, he just meant it as a guy around practice, a guy who will be there to support his teammates, to be in meetings, etc. But the reality is, this guy won't start throwing until the summertime.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. Anything else on the Canes horizon, facility, coaching, everything else normal?
Everything else so far has been normal because, they had spring break this week. So all the kids basically have been back home or going on trips or enjoying life, enjoying their NIL money, all that NIL money that they've got, right? They're living life good. But they'll be back on campus beginning this weekend, and then class resumes, and they'll be back out practicing next week, preparing for the spring game next month.
All right. Don't forget, folks, use our code BIG010 at Caneswear at 2655 South University Drive in Davie. Go see Brett and all the great people out there. Jeff, just amazing people. And it is heaven for a Canes fan because it's got anything and everything with the Canes logo on it. You got Inter Miami gear. You got Miami Heat gear. You got Miami Dolphins gear. They even got Miami Marlins gear, man. So get on down there. Check it out. If you order online and you go over $99, you will get free shipping. And as always, use our code BIG010. You will get 10% off at Caneswear.com.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at Caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
We step into the world of big dreams, big moves, and big money. It's the Big Cheese Miami Recruiting and NIL Report with Manny Navarro. After 40 years, the Big Cheese remains dedicated to serving the finest Italian dinners, pizza, pasta, subs, and salads. All of their pasta is imported from Italy and cooked fresh every day. Visit BigCheeseMiami.com. Now, let's find out who's the Big Cheese the Miami Hurricanes are working on with insider Manny Navarro.
All righty. Don't forget, visit our friends over there at the Big Cheese, 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, in honor of Billy, who we just lost a little over a week and a half ago, a legend. And over 40 years, he has created memories. A Hurricane Hall of Fame is there in the walls of the Big Cheese. You're going to love it. You're going to love the food, the service, the amazing people, and the experience. You get it all at the Big Cheese. And this is the Big Cheese NIL and Recruiting Report. And Manny, who did Miami pick up this week in recruiting?
Well, in the past week since we did our last show, which I told you last Friday that it looked like they were going to end up finally getting that commitment from Jalen Waters, the 4-star cornerback from the 2026 class. They did. They got him that night. I thought it would happen sometime over the weekend, and sure enough, the process sped up a little bit. So they got an elite 2026 cornerback in the fold, one of 5 commitments now in that class as they start to build here in the next few months. But they also picked up their second 2027 commitment. Again, I know you don't get excited over this stuff. They have so long to go. These guys are still, technically sophomores in high school, right? They've got to finish school this semester before they even become junior.
They decommit,
Yes, yes.
It's just like, we're Jaden Rashaded out. You know what I'm saying? It's just like,
Right.
come on.
Right. Well, the reason this one is important is because he's a local kid who plays on the South Florida Express. He's super talented. His name is Kenton Dobson, 6'1", 185 pounds, sophomore. Everybody in the country wanted this kid. Georgia, Penn State, all the teams that make the playoffs wanted this kid, and ultimately, it's a big deal just for that reason. Because in the past, a lot of those elite kids, they kind of just I'm not really even the local kids. I'm saying I won't even jump on board with Miami because I'm an SEC kid or I'm a Big Ten kid and I'm too big for them. But again, this is the changing landscape of Miami under Mario Cristobal, where they're doing a better job. They've been recruiting these kids a lot longer, right? They've got like this kid Dobson. He's known Mario and this coaching staff now since he was in the 7th grade. He's going into the 11th grade. That matters, right? You can eventually win a kid over when you have a long-term relationship with him. And so we'll see if Dobson ultimately ends up sticking. But I can tell you that in the last 20 years, it's not often that you get a South Florida Express potential 4 or 5-star defensive back who's 6'1", 185 pounds to commit this early in the process to a school like Miami. So that's why it's notable.
And Mario's strengths are communication. He communicates with those kids. He really recruits them. He continues to recruit them, over-recruit them. And then and because he's actually a good dude, he's like a guy that they're gonna go, wow, this guy actually gives a shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like Mario just has all those characteristics that you want from a human being and a coach. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to that connecting part, he's really good at that. He's maniacal about that, right? Which is
he is, and kids have told me that Mario gets up 4 a.m, and by the time they go to wake up at 5, there's already a text from him there. As they're getting up to get ready to work out, Mario is texting them really, really early in the process, and the thing is, you think, well, man, what the hell? These coaches calling me this early or texting me this early, but the kids love it because to them, it's like, dude, if I get up this early and this guy's already awake, it's like I know he's in, right? I know he's really committed to this. Yeah, he gives a shit, and he starts early. He doesn't care what hour, and so the kids feel like a high priority. And I've had many of them tell me that, even ones that didn't sign with Miami, that are like, dude, I love Mario, like his personality, the way that he is, the passion that he recruits. That's what separates him, and that's why Miami hired him.
Yeah, and listen, again, I don't get excited about it, but I know isn't UM listed as one of the top 10 teams with the most 2026 blue chip recruits? So that tells you.
early in the process, they're doing well. Again, to me, the time that you really start to see it become meaningful is the summer. Like when you see June and July commitments, like right after those kids take their official visits, the ones that jump on, most of the time, I would say those kids, like 80% of them don't decommit because they've already been going through the process for a long time and they don't want to, they've taken all their official visits. They've been to campuses 6, 7, 8 times. And so to them, they're pretty much ready and they want to decide before their senior year so that when they sign in December, the ones that want to play the game and try to get more money out of it, right, and squeeze schools, you can see who those are because those keep taking trips into the fall, keep visiting schools. But the serious ones, the guys that I think end up being the best players, they've pretty much got everything done even before their senior year starts.
All right, transfer portal. What should the Canes be working on? What position in the transfer portal should they be working on?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think without question, on offense, you look at the wide receiver position, just super inexperienced. That we mentioned this earlier. Miami went and got C.J. Daniels, a guy who played most of his career at Liberty and spent last season at LSU. He's not even healthy right now. He's coming back from an injury, so he's not even really involved. And the only other guy with starting experience is JoJo Trader, who started the bowl game. So in my mind, receiver without question is a major position that you look at this spring portal window that's going to open up next month. And you say, yeah, if Miami can find somebody with a lot more experience to come in here and just provide that, you take it. But I think, to me, one that's potentially even bigger is safety. And you think about the position last year, the safety position. Miami went out and they got Zachariah Poyser out of Jacksonville State, an all-conference performer, a young guy who's probably going to be a 2-year starter here before he goes pro, and a really good player. But I think they need a second guy because they're really, I think, young at that position. You look at Dylan Day, you look at Zaquan Patterson. Those are guys that are going into their second season. And while you want to give those guys an opportunity to win starting jobs and to be, guys that are a big part of your future, I also think you have to do what's right, and that's find a reliable guy who could be a number one, so that those guys are eased into that safety position. And so, to me, I think that's something that it has become sort of apparent, because I like the DBs they got. They went out, they signed 5 DBs, but I think 4 of those guys really are cornerbacks. Poyser's the one natural safety. I think a lot of the other guys that they picked up are big-bodied guys that could potentially move to safety if needed, but I would rather take a natural safety. And I think that's where, when you go out and you steal, the DB's coach from the University of Florida and Will Harris, and then you bring in, the cornerbacks coach from Zach Etheridge, those guys have to know people in college football, right? Houston, out of the Texas area, Zach Etheridge, Will Harris, who's just with the Gators, they have guys that I'm sure that they know that are more experienced safeties that they can reach out to now. I know it's tampering. I'm basically saying tampering, but essentially, have conversations with and see if they can bring in here so that you add a veteran safety. I think that's the one thing I look at on this defense, and I say, okay, that's something I think if I'm Mario, I want to try to land that and a wide receiver.
Speaking of tampering, any chance that Jai Lucas going to tamper over and say Boozer Brothers?
Yeah, there's no question. I think that one is 100% obvious. I think he went out and he did a great job recruiting them to Duke and to get them to go over there. But ultimately, the Boozer Brothers are South Florida guys, born and raised, playing at Columbus High School, winning state championships, 2 great players. And I think without question, that's something that you talk about the University of Miami basketball team and the struggles, the fact they didn't even make it to the ACC tournament this week and play after making the Final Four just 2 years ago. Those are 2 guys that you look at and you say, yeah, those are guys that somehow have to end up in the fold here at Miami if you're really going to make a quick turnaround. And
okay,
ultimately,
so wait a minute. So if they have $7 million, I think that's what the figure I read somewhere for their NIL. How much? I don't know anything about this shit. How much would the Boozer Brothers take up of that cap?
That's a good question. I mean, probably a good chunk of it. I would say probably close to $1 million each, or a little more. I think if ultimately that's how much Miami can spend on basketball, then you want them to prioritize those guys, because to me, they look, like I said, Columbus High School state champions. Their high school coach might end up on the staff here at Miami as well. So I think, to me, it's a no-brainer that's what needs to happen. Look, the whole roster needs to be revamped, but those guys are the linchpins in my mind.
Yeah, and the good thing for basketball is they are in the conference that you want to be in when it comes to basketball. So, and unlike in football, that's not the sexy conference. In basketball, they're in the sexy conference, so that's a good thing.
Well, what's funny is that's kind of changed in the last few years. People have really taken a crap on the ACC, and yet every year there's an ACC team in the Final Four. But if you look at like the RPI and all that stuff, the ACC teams don't get a lot of respect because they don't win a lot of out-of-conference games lately. It's really dropped in the last year or two, I would say. But what's funny is you go and you count the national championships and the teams that get to the Final Four, the ACC is always there. Right. So, but I think it's a very winnable conference, especially now with some of the coaches that have stepped down.
Yeah, with these turnovers and these rules, for sure.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. And so
you get the right combination of a couple veteran players and some really young studs.
Yep.
Like Larinaga used to do. And he can get a combination of a couple of that, man. You never know, bro. You never know.
Yeah.
But it's nice to know they have money. for that.
And that's what mattered. That's what you and I talked about it for years, on this show and on other shows when you and I have been on the air. And we always said money was the factor, right? For Miami's athletic program. They weren't spending the way that they needed to. And that changed with the administration and all the people that are involved now in helping turn this entire athletic program around.
Yeah, it was a problem when they weren't spending enough money illegally. And it was a problem when they weren't spending enough money legally, but now they're spending enough money legally. But a few times when they did spend it illegally, they got busted. So that was not good either. But anyway, it is what it is. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro and catch his exceptional work there at The Athletic. Manny, as always, thank you, my brother. We'll catch up on Tuesday.
All right, man. Talk soon.
You got it. There you go. The great Manny Navarro and our Big Cheese, NIL, and recruiting report.
You've been listening to the Big Cheese Miami Recruiting and NIL Report with Manny Navarro. At the Big Cheese Miami, they continue to purchase the same high-quality ingredients that the most expensive Italian restaurants use. The difference is they serve large portions at a family price. Visit the Big Cheese at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue in Miami. Call 305-662-6855 or go to thebigcheesemiami.com. Go Canes!
Brian Landis, thank you, sir, for the super chat. If ye sit to pee, a long life ye shall see. If ye sit to pee, a longer life you shall see. I like it. I like it. Sit, recalibrate. It's a good one. Oh, Eichenberg is giving Jesse Davis a run for his money as the worst O lineman we've had. Yeah, maybe. You're right there. I'm still going to go with Jesse. Let's see. Sorry to hear about what happened to you, Big O. In a good world, thought you were on vacay. Also, not looking forward to all the Dolphin season, but the group and company always a 10 in my tailgate group. Awesome. Nice. Nice. Ray says, howdy-o. Glad you're feeling better. I have a new job suggestion for McDaniel. A perfect wedding planner. All right. It's kind of for me to focus on all the little digits. Don't want to go overboard on that today, but I appreciate you all out there as always. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me get to a little music history here. Let's start off with birthdays for musicians. Well, if I can actually get my iPad to open up here. Okay. All right, here we go. I'm going to have to take off my glasses for this one. We start off with Taylor Hanson, keyboardist and vocalist with the Hanson Brothers, born on this date in 1983. Who else? Michael Bland, best known as drummer for Prince, starting in 89. He was the drummer for the New Power Generation era. Who else? Celebrating birthdays today. Jim Pons, guitars from the Turtles. Who else celebrating birthdays today? And that's it, actually. Quincy Jones, I'm sorry, missed that one. Quincy Jones, born in this date in 1983. Record producer, composer, musician, just God. Guy was a beast and a half. All right, let's go with birthdays. Famous folks celebrating birthdays today. Steph Curry is 37. Simone Biles is 28. Albert Einstein was born in this date in 1879. We lost him in 1955. Damn, that's a hell of a list so far. Daniel Gillis, TV actor, is 49. Cash Doll, rapper, she's 36. Brian Quinn, comedian, 49. Let's see who else is celebrating birthdays today. Amir Khan, movie actor, is 60. Sasha Grey, movie actress, is 37. Billy Crystal is 77. Who else? Michael Caine is 92. This is a hell of a list, dude. Today's a damn good list for birthdays for famous people. And that's about it. Sean Stanley, sir, do you have wrestlers born on this date?
Yes, sir, we do. Adam Baum, Brian Clark, Wrath, same person. He's 61 today.
What is he, Latin? He's got like 87 names?
No, he's just been in all three of those characters.
Oh, okay. I thought he was officially Cuban or something.
No. That's not all what name.
Michael Andres Perez de la Cruz, San Antonio. Huh? Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Beulah McGillicuddy, she's 56. Referee Felix Fernandez in NXT, he's 28. Lady Frost, she is 40. And Santino Marella is 51, which means his twin sister, Santina Marella, is also 51 today on March 14th, 2025.
All right. Let's go with a little music history. What happened today on March 14th in music history? In 1982, Anaheim, California, Radio City, a band called Metallica made their live debut. A couple of decades later, in 2003, on this date, Ozzy Osbourne held a farewell party for bassist Roberto Trujillo, who was leaving the Prince of Darkness to join Metallica. In 83, John Bon Jovi, Richie Zambora, and Alec John Such formed Bon Jovi. Ooh, she's a little runaway. In 2005, U2 was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Other acts inducted that night were The Pretenders, well-deserved, Buddy Guy, Monster, The OJs, come on, and Percy Sledge. See, that's when they used to induct people that actually belonged in the Hall of Fame. Anyway, in 71, Janis Joplin had her only top 40 hit, Me and Bobby McGee, which went to number 1. The Chris Christopherson penned song stayed on top of the Billboard's pop singles charts for 2 semanas. In 73, Elton John topped the singles charts with Crocodile Rock. GM, you can think, is so good. He made this team. To me, he sucks. Then he brings back a guard that can't play. Yeah, but the guard is a backup at this point. So, I mean, it's not like they're bringing him to start. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they paid him like a minimum deal. It's not like he had, rotate. He may not even make the team, dude. That's probably what could end up happening, that he might not even make the team, which is kind of funny. Remember, Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal is the ways that you can always make a donation to the show. We appreciate it. As always, you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation. And you can help us go to Spain, as the Miami Dolphins this year will be playing in Spain. We'd like to cover that historic game. Hopefully it means a lot. Would be nice. There's the QR code. You can use the QR code to make a donation. Any kind of donation is accepted and very grateful, and we appreciate it. I want to thank personally everybody that reached out on all the different social media platforms to check up on me the last 4 days. As always, I want to thank this gentleman, as always, for support and everything. Thank you all out there, sponsors, listeners, all of you out there, friends. Really appreciate it. Thank you for worrying about me, and I was worried about myself. I got to be honest, but we'll bounce back, and we'll get through this like always. I'm not concerned about it. It's just a speed bump in life. You got to go through it sometimes, and you got to adjust, right? And so now I know how to get up in the morning. Now I know sometimes how I got to go, relieve myself in the middle of the night. There are things that I have to carry myself a little differently now that I'm a little older. So I'm here still. I'm not dead. I'm not paralyzed. I could have been either. I thank that woman that's sitting over there for saving my life. I will not take that for granted every day of my life that she saved it. And so thank you all out there. I appreciate you all. I am going to relax for the rest of the weekend. A lot of darkness, some light as I relax and try to just give the brain some rest. That's the key thing. That's why I probably could have done a show yesterday, but I just said, no, I'm going to hang in there, and I'll do one show this week, and I'll get it done, and then I'll have 2 more days off. I'll see you all on Monday morning, fresh, ready to go. I love you all. Appreciate you. We'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend. Be blessed.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.